Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. I almost feel weird that I don't have a Bucho here to tell me that my audio is actually working. Chat, can you guys hear us? Are we actually live and you can see us and things are okay? We have sound and vision. Thank you so much, Chris Bates. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment, Gaming, and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency in an attempt to bring a symphonic approach to horror role-playing. I am your host, Bridget Jeffries, but tonight I will not be serving as your narrator. That's because we have the Emmy award-winning team from Wet Ink Games on stream to present the Emmy nominated game, highly acclaimed, sweeping through the community. I can't even talk about how well their Kickstarter is doing right now, Never Going Home. But more on them in just a moment. Handful of quick announcements. One, happy Pride, babies. It is June. It is your month. Do your thing. We see you. We love you. Just exactly how you are. Happy Pride, guys. Two, if you're not aware, for the entire month of June, we will be hosting Indie June, a celebration of indie horror game designers. Tonight, we have these incredible individuals from Wet Ink Games. Next week, I have Graham Walmsley, guys. Fucking Graham Walmsley coming onto the stream to run Cthulhu Dark. And the week after, Richard Rook running his queer game of disco and cosmic horror, Moonlight on Roseville Beach. Spoiler alert, we're coming in beachwear and costumes. So get your thirst ready for that stream.
I'm so ready for that. I've been so excited about that game.
Get your thirst ready, baby. Get your thirst ready. Get your thirst ready because that is going to drip. I guess two announcements. It just keeps going and going, and I mislabeled my copy. Symphony does have a Patreon. So if you like this content and you'd like to help us make more of it, please consider backing us on Patreon at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. One, it helps us celebrate other creators and puts us in positions where we can bring people like Wet Ink Games on, where we can actually stretch out our staff, where we can actually get the equipment to the people that need it. In addition, there are like free books and products and interviews and postcards, and there's a Pettyville bingo game that Bucho came up with. It's still the funniest thing for all the mistakes we make on stream. It's a great community that I'm super proud to be a member of. Because just the Symphony people are absolutely amazing. So if you'd like to join us, hit us up on patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. We are also hosting a giveaway. And by we, I'm talking about these two sexy individuals from Wet Ink Games that are giving away 2 free PDF copies of Never Going Home. To enter, you do need to be a follower of our channel. You can enter !home, that is bang home, for a chance to enter. We will do the drawing at the end of the stream. If you can't stay for the whole stream, listen. Thank you for staying for as long as you did. We really appreciate you spending time with us. And then check your Twitch whisper message, whatever the hell that thing is called. I will allegedly try to reach out to you and say, hey, congratulations, you won. Give me your email address and I can get over to Brandon and Matthew. So without further ado, let's unveil this cast. We are going to start it off with the one and the absolute only Brandon. Brandon, tell us who you are, what you do, where people can find you. Some honorable mentions that I just found out about 10 minutes ago. This Kickstarter, baby, hit us with all of it because your resume is redunculous.
Thank you so much, Bridget. I'm Brandon Aten. I'm one half of the crew here at Wet Ink Games. I'm the business director and one of the system designers. And we had an absolute blast creating so many fun games for our company. We've been around for. I just resubmitted our company organization with the state, so we've been around since 2015, according to the state of Kentucky. I've loved being a part of Wet Ink Games. Effectively my role here is I make sure that we get things lined up for our Kickstarters and for our various projects. I make sure that things can get to distributors, get to conventions, and we get all set up and make sure that we dot our I's and cross our T's. And that's I really try to do that, and Matt keeps me honest. And so we've right now, we've done like you mentioned earlier, Never Going Home It was our first game in the +1 system. Never Going Home. It's our game of eldritch horror in the trenches of World War One. Has art that was originally based off of an Inktober project by artist Charlie Ferguson Avery of Feral Indie Studios. We followed him. We loved his art so much. We reached out and we're like, hey, can we make a game with this? So we licensed the art from him, did that. And we're like, okay, any new art is going to be like, we'd love for you to be the sole artist. So whatever you can do, great. If you find out that your schedule is packed and you can't do it, let us know. Charlie has done all the art for 10 books for Never Going Home, except for one piece, which is a schematic of a submarine. But other than that, he has done every bit of art for 10 books. And for an artist to do that and have that level of consistency across a line, that's one of the things that we really strive to do. We want to make sure our artists are too busy to even talk to us. Not busy from our work, but we want them to be able to take all that stuff and highlight that as like a showpiece and go out and use it and find other work in the industry. We love working with artists. We love working with people who are up and coming. We love working with people who are established. And Charlie has been an absolute joy to work with. We enjoy him. So like I said, Never Going Home. Boom. That's Charlie's art on the cover. He's fantastic. He, like I said, he was nominated for an Emmy for 2020 Emmy for Best Art. And so that was great. We've since expanded that +1 line to include games like Psychic Kids, which was crowdfunded earlier this year. You can now find it on DriveThru RPG. It's getting ready to go to print. As well as our family-friendly game, Heckin' Good Doggos.
Hey!
Boom! It's a game about dogs doing dog stuff. We absolutely love that game too. Again, it uses the same kind of +1 system that you'll be seeing in effect in the stream today. It was a lot of fun to take that system and have a lot of flexibility with it to do different things. The dice mechanics are all the same. The card mechanics will generally shift from game to game. So Never Going Home is a little different card mechanic than Psychic Kids, is a different card mechanic than Heckin' Good Doggos, which will have a different card mechanic than some of our other games in the line. We were also nominated for our game Zhongshe Blood in the Banquet Hall, designed by Banana Chan and Sen-Fung Lim. That was nominated last year for Best Production Value, Best Setting, and Product of the Year, and won a Silver Emmy for Best Setting. And so you can actually see Matt has the Emmy medal hanging behind him.
Yeah, he does.
Yep, mine's up here. You can't see it; it's out of frame. But it was a great opportunity to be able to work with those creators. Our graphic designer Matt Benici, just so many other independent creators going through and writing scenarios for that game. Presently, we have a Kickstarter for 3 more books for Never Going Home. It was recently selected as a Kickstarter project we love. We're quickly approaching 50,000, which is 2.5 times our goal. We've unlocked a ton of new material, which is all going to be digital missions and new magic rules and fun little magic options. And we've also unlocked some additional fiction from our fiction writer, Sarah. So we have some really cool things in store, but it's just it's going and going crazy. You can find Wet Ink Games on Facebook, on Twitter, both Wet Ink Games on both of those, as well as our Instagram and Discord. I'll let Matt talk a little bit more about that and how we utilize those as well. So,
Brandon,
anything else?
No, I'm such a fangirl for Wet Ink Games. Y'all should see me in person when I see one of them at a con. I'm like, it's them. I love some Wet Ink Games. Brandon, I love you. I love you. I love you. We're going to move forward so we can introduce our cast, but one of the cast members is also the other half of Wet Ink Games. So, baby, you're a pro around here. You know how this do. Matthew, hit us, baby. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, the things you do at Wet Ink Games, and anything else you want to share or plug, baby. It's you.
So My name is Matthew Orr. I'm the creative director of Wet Ink Games. I've known Brandon since middle school when we first played TMNT together, and we've just continued to play games and now continue to make games. It's great. And I, as creative director, I mostly wrangle our talent. So that includes you, Bridget, and maybe people on the stream, maybe in the future. You may work for us too someday, because we like to work with lots of people and bring in that talent. Because I don't know, I like to think that like I've gotten to the point where I'm like, oh, everyone is a better game designer than I am. So let me just hire them to do the work, and then my books will be better quality for having had someone else do them. And obviously that works with the art. I can do a little bit of sketching, but not the way that Charles Fergus Avery or Stephen Wu or I'm trying to think of one of the. I mean, we've worked with those two guys so many. Oh, Sarah M.W. Miller, who did Psychic Kids, the proof
In
of
Home.
Over there on my side table over there out of frame is the printed proof for Psychic Kids that is now in printing. So that should be I don't know if it's going to make it by Origins, but hopefully by Gen Con we'll have that one to show you all. So that's my little industry plug, is that is where that's at in production. And I think I've addressed all your questions. Oh, Instagram and Discord, that's sort of where I go. We have a Discord you can ask to join. We'll get you a link. And Instagram, I share a lot of art from our creators and talk about our games, our con presence, and stuff like that. So that's me.
The art over at Wet Ink Games is painfully gorgeous.
It's, that when we walk by a booth and we see somebody's painfully gorgeous art, we ask ourselves, what game is this going to go in? Because that's how we roll. So.
Yeah,
is there a game for this yet? If not, when
we can write it. I mean, we got the talent.
Right.
We'll meet your art halfway.
Exactly.
Allie, my spouse, my wife, hit us, baby. You know the routine. You've been on here enough.
Yep. So I'm Allie. I am part of the Old Ways podcast. I am in, I don't know, stuff.
A lot of it.
my primary role has been as Katerina Bogdanovich in our Vampire the Masquerade game. So that's how most people know me. I've also been able to actively participate in our run through of Delta Green Impossible Landscapes, which is incredibly fun, and everyone should listen to it. So where you can generally find me, I hang out on the Symphony server, just because I can, and Bridget likes me, so I guess I'll be here
a whole lot too.
And I'm very active on the Old Ways server for Discord, and I would like it if you would come join us on our Patreon at Patreon/The Old Ways Podcast.
Whoop whoop. So funny. I'm a annual subscriber to the Old Ways podcast, and my annual just came up. I literally got the receipt like 3 days ago. It's like, you're next year for the Old Ways to subscribe. I was like, I know, Bill. I know. And last but totally not least, Skip, who is back from the beach because he had the audacity to stream with us last time from like a beach, like with real sun and sand and joy. And at least he's not on the beach and I don't have to be jealous anymore. Skip, hit us, baby.
Yeah, and I'm not in the movie theater again this time. So right. I'm in my very echoey office as I'm still trying to put up paint posters and stuff like that. So my name is Skip. I am kind of the newbie around here. I've only done one of the live streams, but I had a great time. Sat in on the In Strange Seas game, which was absolutely amazing. Our dice rolls were not absolutely amazing, but the game itself was absolutely wonderful. You can find me on the Symphony Discord as Skip M. I am, like I said, I'm just a new guy. I'm trying to get established in here, getting into some games, maybe eventually running some games. I have been gaming, I think I said before, since the Jimmy Carter administration. So, back when we were playing in the basement and, had to lock the doors and your parents are wondering what you're doing down there. That's the kind of how I started in the role-playing system. When I got to college, I really expanded. I started at Dungeons and Dragons like just about everybody else did, and got into like Star Trek. And I was first when Vampire first came out for White Wolf. I was playing that, so I can actually say that I was there when it first started. And I've just kind of grown from there, playing all kinds of games. I am dying to get into more podcasting. I spent 15 years in radio, so I'm looking to do some voice work, get back into that. So if you need some free voice work done right now, hi, I'm Skip. Call me. I'll answer because I got nothing else better to do right now. So, but I'm looking forward to today. I really love the horror genre. I really got into it with Call of Cthulhu, and I'm trying to expand more into like vampire stuff like that. So I'm really looking forward, and it's a brand new system to me, and I love learning brand new stuff. So I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yes. Symphony, you already know the routine here, baby. Content warnings have been discussed with the cast and crew. The X card is in play. X's can be sent in private message directly over there to Brandon, or you can visibly do it where everyone can see it. Your choice, your prerogative. There will be no judgment passed, and there will be no questions asked. We will also be using the red, yellow, red traffic the color traffic method, green, yellow, red traffic method if needed. So without further ado, I believe 3 of us on this stream have never played this game before. So we're about to jump into the setting, the mechanics, and this crew and our characters all at the same time live. So I love you guys. I'll catch you on the other side. Brandon, mwah, I am out of your way officially.
Well, thank you, everyone. Welcome to Never Going Home. Never Going Home is a game of eldritch horror in the trenches of World War One. Originally, the setting in the setting during the Battle of the Somme, there was an incident in which thinned the veil between our world and the world of the mysterious, unknowable others. Since then, there have been whispers in people's minds promising power in exchange to do certain tasks. These tasks can be anything as mundane as going about your daily business or doing a mission in the war. But the power that you can get is potentially otherworldly healing, some strength, knowledge that you may not have had before, or even magical effects, which we in the system call whispers. Our characters in this session are American soldiers who have been sent to France. This is the based off of one of the books in our current Kickstarter. We have 5 campaign dossiers spreading from 1914 all the way to 1918. So we're going to be at the tail end of World War One. All right. So we're going to introduce allow our cast to introduce their characters, and then we'll be able to dive into how we handle missions, how we handle the actual the forward direction of our collective storytelling. All right, Gaius, would you like to introduce your character?
Oh God, I'm going first. Yeah. We can do this. I got this. So I am playing Gaius JC King. That probably just affectionately goes by JC. Gaius, which by the way, if you guys get a chance to see these character sheets, it's listed as a soldier record, and it's like stylized and it's super sexy and it's super gorgeous. Gaius is the beating heart of the team from a point of integrity and compassion and just sheer amounts of guts, courage, and emotions. He's very grounded that way, but he's also the most competent person in the party, at least from a firearms, sniper, weapons aspect. So if we're dealing with firearms, that's usually JC's happy point. He's not super social. He's not really good at those mechanics. And it's not that he's not smart. It's just that what he's most concerned about is the team and making sure that the team is safe and the team is grounded, the team is well. This is that one guy that you know will be the last one out the door and will not allow anybody to fall unless he goes first. If anyone's going to self-sacrifice, it's probably going to be JC. This is some random white boy out of like Chillicothe, Ohio. who's here and doing the best he can with what he has, and what he has right now are his friends and his family here.
All right, let's go over to Joanna Martin.
I'm portraying Joanna Martin. She's out of New York City. She's half black, half Irish, and maybe there's a little bit of Scottish back in there somewhere. She's kind of taken up both halves of her like heritage in sort of being like, "Ooh, I like the Celtic stuff. We could do that. Oh, I like the stuff that comes from West Africa. Eventually, we could do that too." So she's kind of like educated. She was already on a path of educating herself in like the realms of weirdness before all this happened. So she was well positioned to be like, "Ooh, I am an expert in this. Let me make myself the team's specialist in weird stuff." I think she comports herself very, she's in regulation uniform, like long, like knee to the calf skirt. She probably did a little bit of tailoring on her uniform top to like, she just looks good, hair back in a nice big bun. And then she's got this big staff that she carries around that kind of looks like a battle standard, but there's like gourds and stuff attached to it. And she rattles it sometimes to like do some stuff, which, maybe is a little bit weird, but maybe not compared to the other things that are happening in France. She's, I got this. I'm an expert in this.
I love her so much already. Oh my God. I could do intros for the whole 2 hours. Sorry. I'm just excited.
All right. Well, let's go over to Tabitha Cobb.
So I'm playing Tabitha, and she is a snarky, smarmy girl, fresh out of Ohio. She's tall and lean, and she's very practical in that she doesn't wear traditional feminine clothing. It's a lot more likely that you're going to be finding her in slacks and just a jacket. She's not going out of her way to be fancy, even in places she probably should be. But she definitely has a good head on her shoulders. She's looking for all of the information she can gather, and she's often able to potentially outwit people who are in over their heads while she remains cool and collected.
All right. And then we'll go over to Derek Baxter.
Hi, I'm Derek Baxter. I'm from Danville, Virginia. About 19 years old. Got a scar right here on my left cheek. I witnessed the wreck of the old 97. I was there in the valley just doing some playing with my friends. Got caught by a piece of wood when the train went down. Kind of a big boy. I stand about 6'5", weigh about 250 pounds. I like, my dad was a woodworker, so I got to swing my axe a lot to help him out. So I carry my dad's axe with me. That's the one thing that my platoon leader said I could do. So when I joined, I said, I got to have my axe with me. So he said, okay, you're coming on board with that. But I'm also kind of quiet. My dad can never find me from time to time because I like to sneak away. I'm very curious about stuff. So I like to go look at it, get a good look at it before everybody else does, so I can make a decision on things, or if I need to tell everybody, or just kind of move on. And I tell you what, like 2 ticks on a possum, we're going to be guaranteed to see some serious shit today.
All right. That was great.
That was so good.
Let me make one note. Okay. How Never Going Home works. We all use standard 6-sided dice and standard playing cards. All right. So standard 6-sided dice, standard deck of playing cards. We are going to be using an online deck that is going to be visible only to us. So if you're on the stream and we start talking about cards and things like that, you're not going to be able to see it. But rest assured, we're doing that. We made these deliberate choices because we wanted to make sure that anyone could go into their grandma's junk drawer and get what they needed to play this game. We wanted to make Never Going Home and all of our +1 games very accessible. So standard 6-sided dice, standard playing cards. On our character sheets, we have our 3 attributes as well as skills which are related to those attributes. Our skills represent how many dice we start with when we are making a dice pool, and then our attributes they're tied with represent how many times we can manipulate a die roll. I will help the players kind of as we go through this. I will help them understand exactly how they're going to be able to make those changes. One of the things that we include in all of our decks is a card like this. It says, here's the +1 system. If you can do this and you can do this, you can play our game. That's what I tell people at conventions. Well, when we go at a convention game and we, I run this, or if I'm giving a pitch at our booth. So I'm going to help the players as we go through that as well. One of the things we also have is, and include all of our missions, is what we call the journey, and that's going to be some things that our players and our characters are thinking about as we go through before they get from point A to point B. It's what I like to call the Indiana Jones traveling music. All right, so is everyone ready to go on and get started?
Let's rock.
All right.
All right.
So, in the summer of 1918, General Foch, the Supreme Allied Commander, had convinced the General Pershing to allow American soldiers to be under the command of foreign power for the first time in history. So, our American soldiers have actually made it to Europe. And we are going to be going from their comfort of their homes in America to their training, their recruitment. Now they've disembarked, and they're headed to the village of Roubauvie in eastern France. Your commanding British officer had actually has given you all some information about a field hospital that was right outside of this village of Roubauvie and the name of the hospital is Hospital Rien, and there have been reports of weird things happening at this hospital. Multiple casualty logs and casualty reports have been either delayed or completely missed in their regularly scheduled cadence. And after sending 3 different groups of soldiers to go to Hospital Rien, there has been no word back. So the now fresh-faced and fully energetic American soldiers, who are all full of piss and vinegar, are tasked to go to Hospital Rien, investigate the disappearance of any of the soldiers that have been sent, and why those reports were no longer coming from the area. All right. So now we're going to go into the journey. All right. The journey is like I said, I'll give you a brief description of what's going to go on. There's going to be a requirement that everyone is going to have to contribute at least 1 card from their hand, and then I'll be able to shuffle them out, and we're going to narrate the response to a question. Ooh. So, though you have only been here for a short while, the amount of destruction and death that you've seen, and at least been seen tangentially, has been absolutely astounding. You've seen grievously wounded soldiers, landscapes that have been utterly destroyed. Your training has never prepared you for this. you thought you knew what you were going to walk into when you went into basic training and you were talking on the ships, but when you got here, you were not ready. Okay, so our requirement, all of our soldiers, you need to contribute a card. Again, we're going to do this face down on our digital play table. Face down. The card cannot be. We're looking for no cards over 8. If you all succeed, I'll reveal these one at a time. If you all succeed at this, there's potentially a bonus for the mission. If you fail, there's a penalty for the mission. Okay, looks like I have 4 cards out here. Mm-hmm. Okay, the question is, how confident are you that your leaders have adequately prepared you for your role in this conflict now that you've seen this destruction and everything that you were not prepared for? I'm going to mix these up a little bit. I'm going to bring these into my hand. And then I'm going to put these back out on the table. That first one is going to be for Gaius. You can leave that there. The
Okay.
second one at the top is going to be for Joanna. This one on the right of the table is for Tabitha. And the one here at the bottom is for Derek. Okay, so anyone can go first. You can do this in any order.
Oh, I like struggling. I'll jump out there.
Oh, well, so the three of...
we got one.
Yep.
Somebody's already flipped. Who flipped it? Go ahead.
Oh, that's Tabitha. She's on mute.
Yeah, I'm always on mute. That's
Bingo.
something you'll learn.
So it's a 3 of diamonds, and diamonds represents self or ambition. So narrate your response to this question that way.
Interesting.
So I feel like chances are not super high that I've been adequately prepared, because chances are they don't have enough intel for everyone to be adequately prepared. It's not that we don't have information. We have limited information, but it's not enough to say with confidence, oh yeah, you guys are going to be fine. Because if there are soldiers who are coming to this hospital and they're disappearing or not reporting back, that's clearly an issue, which is clearly why we're being sent in. So no, we're not adequately prepared, but it doesn't necessarily mean that we're at a detriment either.
All right. I'm going to take this and I'm going to move it over to our discard pile. All right. Who wants to go next? All right. We got a 5 of clubs. Looks like Derek. Clubs represent things, overcoming an obstacle, an action, or an adventure that is in your mind as you answer this question.
Interesting.
First of all, I think Derek would need to overcome his fear of not being what he needs to be in this. He knows that there's something going on that needs to be found. It's something he enjoys doing, but there's always that little doubt in the back of his head that, what if I miss something? What if there's something obvious right there that I just walk right by? Or what if I don't see something in time and one of my friends or my platoon gets injured or killed? That doubt is always going to be there, but he always strives to do his best.
I like that.
All right. I'm going to move that over. All right. Joanna or Gaius? Nope, there's Gaius.
Yep, Gaius just went.
All right, it's a 7 of hearts, and hearts represent a relationship, emotion, or a connection.
Boy, if that wasn't more than perfect for this particular character. So, did our supervisors provide us with adequate information? Are we fully prepared for what's coming? It doesn't matter because we're going. Maybe we'll be underprepared. Maybe we're overprepared. Maybe we're going to be blindsided. Maybe we have the tactical advantage. But 3 groups have gone before us and haven't come back. Our group is coming back. That would be his, based on heart's relationship, emotion, or connection. We can't change the orders. We're going. So it doesn't matter if we're prepared or not because we're coming back, and he's going to make damn sure of it that the 4 of us come back.
I love it. Great, JC.
All right. I guess it just leaves me. What do I got? I got the spade.
Spade.
I believe spade is knowledge, information.
Yep.
I think, I mean, Joanna is like really stuck on this. We're the 4th unit. It's like, what? Haven't they figured this out by now? What don't they know? Or what don't, obviously this is like, this problem has been solved. They only had a hammer, right? And they were trying to solve it with a hammer. And I guess this problem doesn't need a hammer. And so that's why we're going to be there this time, because we must know something different. We must have some special knowledge. And obviously I'm the one who has the special knowledge because I know that weird stuff happens. So I need to be extra vigilant here because I'm the not a hammer in this situation. We're going to solve it this time.
I love that. All right. So our requirement was that there be no cards over 8. So we had a 3, a 5, a 7, and a 7 that were all contributed. So according to our rules, that is a success for this journey. Now, for you all, what that means, sometimes that level of success or failure rests on the narrator to maintain. I'm going to share this with you all. Each of you can reduce the target number of 1 challenge or roll in an encounter. So let's say you get somewhere and you want to do an investigation check, or for whatever reason you're doing a mechanics check or something of that sort. You can say, I'm like, your target number is 3, and you go, nope, my target, I'm going to use that. My target number is going to be 2 because we succeeded. We are confident that we are prepared for this. So you all feel at least you get that bonus based on your confidence and your fresh-faced and eager approach to this years-old conflict.
Okay.
All right. That can be a combat roll. That can be a non-combat roll. One thing I also want to point out, if something is particularly difficult, such as you want to focus fire on something, or you want to put your heads together to try to solve something, we call that a challenge. So let's say JC and Joanna want to search a room together. I will say, okay, you're going to do a challenge. The target number is this, and you're going to build your rolls however you want, your dice pool however you want, and you're going to add up your successes because, many hands make light work. That's effectively what we're doing. Okay. Great. So thank you so much for participating in the journey. You've made it to the village of Ravey. You are, when you get there, you're not even really entirely sure you're at the village because this place has been almost completely bombed out.
Wow.
From artillery fire. I mean, you see some as you approach, you see some of the foundations of houses or barns or other structures as you approach the town. What you had heard just through the grapevine of some beautiful woods on the way there have been almost completely leveled. Derek, you recognize this as some lumbering operations as well as heavy artillery fire on what could have been entrenched positions. It looks, as you get deeper into towards the village green or the middle of this village, you're more confident that this is where Ravey was. There's somewhat more structures. Again, they are pretty damaged. So there are off in the distance. There's a church. There's some other structures here around that may have some either hints of survivors or information as to the direction of the hotel or not hotel, hospital, or anything of that sort. So what do you do? I'm going to open that up to the party.
My first thing is that like I'm coming in suspicious, right? We're not the first group to be here. We know that, so like something's happened. So like this is obviously not a destruction, but is it something more? So I would like to kind of use my training in weird stuff, in my whispers, and sort of like, is there something weird going on? Are the shadows at the bottom of these bomb holes too dark for the daytime? Like what is happening? Is there anything that I get just from the scene here that makes me feel like this is a bad scene. This is a bad scene.
Okay. I'm going to set your target number as 2.
Okay.
Target number, this is a number of successes that Joanna has to get. And a success is a 5 or a 6 on a 6-sided die.
Got it.
So Joanna's initial dice pool is going to start with the number of training that Joanna has in her whisper skill. And Joanna, I believe this is tied to your smarts. Is that correct?
No, my whisper is guts based.
It's guts based. Okay. So yours is, so then Joanna can modify that die roll based on the number of guts points that she has.
I'm kind of electing to go first to kind of walk us all through it because I have played before. My, like as Brandon just said, my initial training is 1, so I start with 1 die. I have a total of 4 guts, so I have 4 chances to manipulate that 1 die pool. So I'm going to buy 3 more dice. So I'm going to roll 4 dice. That'll have spent 3 of my 4 guts for this roll, but I'm going to save that last one because one of the things you can do is re-roll. So the things you can do are buy a skill you don't have, buy more dice, and then after you roll, you can add pips or you have 1 chance to re-roll. So, that was all not successes. So I'm going to spend that last point of guts for this roll and re-roll all 4 of those dice.
Okay.
And this time I got 2 successes. So that's how it works.
Okay.
Joanna, as you start investigating this area, you're looking around some of the shadows, which may seem to be longer than the midday sun would allow. You are you're looking around. Things feel weird, but not necessarily actively magic. You don't see the effects of any whispers that you at work right now. One thing as you are walking around, it occurs to you that any active investigation may it may be worthwhile to take a little extra time just in case there's any unexploded ordnance.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I will. I imagine that I'm down on the kind of like almost kneeling down and kind of like maybe using my battle standard staff to kind of like sweep the path almost. And then I kind of stand up and I'm like, I say that, especially I turn to JC and I'm like, we should check for ordnance, because JC's sort of the gun guy. So I'm like, we should check for ordnance, unexploded ordnance. And then that's it. I just like, we should do that is my advice. And I'm going to, be careful. And I don't know. I guess you said we were near the village green. So that's like, we're I guess the other question is, and I'm talking so much, I'm going to step back. Where's the hospital relative to, do we know where that is or do we have to find it?
You do not know.
Okay, great.
Well, what I can do is I can go ahead a little bit. I can take a look. I don't really speak French or read French, but I can kind of recognize some of the signs that a hospital maybe has existed, or at least maybe some direction signs. I'll kind of watch out. I don't want to step on nothing that's going to take any of my limbs off. But that's what I can do. If y'all don't mind, I can take a look, make sure it's safe for all of us.
Great. Derek, what are you going to roll?
I'm going to use. I'm going to go with my investigation.
Mhm.
Perfect.
My one there, and I will use one of my smarts for 2 dice.
So
And I'll say-
investigation is generally tied to guts.
Guess okay.
It's tied to guts. So you start with 1 in
Okay.
investigation. And so how many do you have in guts?
I have 3. I'll use 2, and I'll save 1 guts for the reroll. If that's okay.
One of our, as an aside, one of our players on our Discord has referred to that, like holding the 1 for a reroll as 1 in the chamber.
Yes.
And we like that vernacular, so
I like that.
Kind of adopted it.
I'll write that down. Okay.
And the community supports you, boo. They will come up with some fireness.
We love it.
Love it.
What is my target on this?
Target is also 2.
Okay, we'll go for it. I have 1 success, so I will use that last guess of reroll.
And I will say, Derek, you can also spend it to add a pip. So if your failure was a 4, you can just say, I'm going to turn this 4 into a 5.
Then let's do that. I can do that. All right.
Perfect.
I had a 5 and a 4.
There you go. Boom.
All right.
And you don't even have to re-roll. Your 4 becomes a 5. That's 2 successes.
Awesome.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yep. And if you
Nice.
hold more back, you can turn a 3 into a 5. You can just keep adding pips if you have enough held back.
Okay. And that
Okay.
resets after every encounter.
Every
correct?
roll. You
Every-
rebuild
okay.
for every roll.
Okay.
Okay. Also, I do want to point out, if you do take damage, there are certain things you will take. You don't have hit points in this game. You have your brawn stat, your smart stat, and your gut stat. And depending on the damage, it's physical damage, it would generally be on brawn. That will reduce the amount that you can manipulate your dice pool. So if you have 5 in brawn, you take 2 damage. Now you only have 3 brawn.
Got it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Gotcha.
So we'll get there. But Derek,
Hopefully not. Hopefully not.
hopefully we won't get there. Hopefully, yeah.
We're all gonna
Um,
die.
Everything's gonna go real smooth and nothing bad will ever happen.
Whatever.
Right,
said.
We're gonna play through Never Going Home, and then we're gonna play Heckin' Good Doggos.
It's
Right.
gonna be great.
So, Derek, you did a great job. You're looking. You think you have actually found enough information from. Yes, this place has been kind of bombed out, but as you're looking through, some of the rubble, some of the ruins, you see a sign, kind of like, it looked like it was right at one of the crossroads, but it's leaning against a wall. Like this has been completely collapsed, and the wood has actually started to rot and mildew as it's leaning against this collapsed stone fence. And part of it, the word hospital is not there, but the hospital was Hospital Rien. But you see the sign says, looks like it says like Manor Rien or something of that sort.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
I'll make my way back to the group. Doesn't really say hospital, but it's Manor Rien, I believe.
Yes.
Okay. So it's up that way.
Up that way.
Yeah. I didn't see anybody, and I didn't step on anything that took any of my limbs, so I think we're okay right now.
Right.
I think with
Tabitha, JC, do you? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Sorry. So the one thing that JC understands with total clarity is that neither Tabitha or Joanna actually need him to protect them. They are fully self-sufficient women, just as they are. That doesn't stop him from doing it every goddamn time. So if Joanna Martin is on the ground doing what she does, like, he immediately just backs up to her 6 and is just, rifle out, scanning the horizon to make sure that she's covered while she's in this, more or less vulnerable investigative position. JC also takes orders exceptionally well, especially from people that you trust. So if what was directed at him as a suggestion is going to immediately get turned into a directive. So he will start scanning the terrain, but I think right before he jumps behind that, while Joanna was on the floor, he's looking around, and the questions that are going through his head is, 3 groups came through here. 3 groups didn't return. I'm not seeing any bodies here, or am I? How long ago was this blown out? Has this been like this for the last 6 months? Does this look like a disaster that happened, within the last 3 weeks? So he's more or less trying to get a temperature check on the environment as a whole, including, what he's supposed to be searching for, to see if he can get more of a narrative picture on a time frame of what they're working with or what they're at least walking into.
Excellent. So I'm going to have you do one roll, but it's going to incorporate 2 things.
Interesting.
Yeah. Just because you are being observant. You're checking out the terrain specifically, and observing. So again, this is also going to be an investigation check. This is going to be tied to your guts.
Got it.
So how many points do you have in investigation?
Yes, sir. So I have 1 in investigation and 4 in guts.
Love it.
So I'm just going to rinse, rather repeat as I learn. We're going to do all in except for the 1 in the chamber.
Okay.
Which, unless I'm incorrect, I should be rolling 46, and I'm just giving you the total number of above 5.
Of 5s and 6s. Yeah.
So he only got 1 success. So we're going to go ahead and burn that guts for a full reroll of all 4 dice, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
You can re-roll as many as you want. If you got 1 success, keep it.
Yes.
Got it.
Correct.
Unfortunately, guys, I think we have a first failure of the day. He did not succeed. He only got the 1 success.
Okay. So, as you are scanning the surroundings, you can't really tell. Maybe there's just been relatively fresh rain, so you can't really tell whether or not any of these craters were still smoldering. You can't tell if this happened yesterday or if this happened a few months ago. This is the first time your training has really failed you, so you're not really used to it. Okay, real quick, one of the other things I want to say that you can do, you can spend cards in your hand. Right now, you should all have 4 cards in your hand, right?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Those cards throughout this game, and you will be awarded cards as we go through. I'm actually pretty generous with cards. Cards represent your humanity. So you can say, I am going to spend a card to either heal outside of combat. I'm going to prevent damage, but you could also get an additional +1 effect. Let's say you're like, I got 2 successes. I needed 3. I have a 4. I'm going to spend a card to turn that 4 into a 5, or I'm going to spend a card to re-roll. But that's your humanity, and I'm going to make you narrate, according to that suit, what you lose. So that little bit of your humanity that you discard, you have to narrate that part of yourself that you give up to the others in exchange for power.
That's cool.
As a total aside, as a marketing clip, I am going to clip me and Allie's face as you were describing this mechanic, because both me and Allie were like, oh, we want it. Okay, so I'm doing it. Let's do it. I'm going to burn a card to turn one of those 4s into a 5 as to a success.
Boom.
Oh, hey.
We're going to do it.
Excellent.
Out the gate.
Let me see how hard I can make him suffer. I have a spade and a club in my hand right now.
Okay.
So spade, unless I'm reading this wrong, is knowledge, learning, growing, overcoming suffering.
Yep.
And clubs is things, overcoming obstacle, action, or adventure.
Yep.
And
you got it.
The descriptions you gave me is once I burn one of these cards, I get to success, but this is going to negatively affect my humanity in one of those 2 flavor profiles.
It's a memory. It's part of your humanity. So, for example, I stood up to a bully on the playground. This is what it was. This was the scene. I discard the card. My character no longer has that as part of themselves. They don't remember that anymore.
Oh my God, it's so completely delicious. Okay, I'm gonna go clubs. So
okay.
I'm handing you this card into the center deck, right?
Yep, I'll just take it and I'll drag it to the discard pile. 6 of clubs.
Beautiful. So I opted for things, overcome an obstacle, action, or adventure. So Joanna has given him more or less a directive, and he's trying to get a scape or a temperature check on this landscape, and it's not talking to him. The rains have washed out so much. He saw too much too fast coming into this, but seeing too much too fast immediately brings him back to his childhood when he and his younger sister were out playing in these random fields in Chillicothe. And they went adventuring and they went running and they went playing and they came across a creek. And most kids love swimming in creeks, right? It's fun. It's summer. It's hot. Like, let's have a good time. But there are consequences when you are assigned to protect someone and you get distracted or you start having too much fun or you don't dial in. And Emily got hurt in a really, really bad way. And that's something that he's been carrying with him for a very, very long time. It's something that he's seen in the gaze of his parents when he carried her back home. It's something that he had to confront when he said goodbye to her, when he signed up for the war. I think just looking down at Joanna in that moment and looking over at Tabitha, he's seeing his sister and he's like, I'm not doing that again. We can't risk that in this moment.
I love that.
Awesome.
So you look at Tabitha and you're like, we can't risk that. But now you no longer remember why you think that. That memory just kind of fades away. You're like, I can't allow it. And it just goes away. You also, in your mind, you hear, over here.
Oh.
And a kind of like smoky scent fills your nostrils as you're surveying the area with your rifle, and you hear over here, and you quickly point back and you look at the one of the structures. May have been a house on the green. It may have been an inn or a tavern or a pub, something like that. And through the cracked walls and mortar and the holes in the stone, you're getting that burnt smell. So you're like, oh, maybe this has happened more recently. And through that mortar that in the holes in the mortar that you see off in the distance on a hillside, and there's two figures standing on a hill, just next to the cracked trunk of a tree. They appear to be in almost in nun-like garb. They have a red cross on their chest, and they're wearing what appears to be gas masks, and they're just staring.
Heads up, guys.
Derek, that is the direction also that you're coming back from.
But I didn't see him.
No, you did not see them.
Okay.
I'm just saying, but that is the direction you're coming back from. Gaius or JC is looking almost right there as you come back around the side of that building. That rifle is pointed right through there.
Heads up, guys. I've got 2 at whatever directionality he calls out.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to check that out.
Take a quick look.
Yeah, we're all swinging around to see what you're looking at, JC.
Just based on where that structure stands. I mean, Derek, you're coming right around the corner. You turn around, you see, and you look behind you, way off in the distance on that hill. You see those two figures. Tabitha, Joanna.
That's what I was worried about. Do we all see the figures? That's what I wanted to know.
You two do not, because of the way the structure is.
Oh, it's
Derek,
like blocking.
Just as you turn around and see this, they turn around and like go over the ridge of the hill. So you both see them turn around and leave.
Is that
we don't
what
see
you
an
were?
empty hill. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Did you just see that, Jason?
Yeah, Baxter, I have eyes on it too. They just left.
That was the direction that I think that the hospital is.
The Rian Manor that you saw?
Yeah. Yep.
Well, they know we're here.
What gets
So-
me?
I would like to know if I have maps of things, like the blueprints for the hospital and like a map of the general area
Ooh.
that I can take a look at. I feel like if we're even moderately prepared by the people who sent us here, we would have something, right? Oh, Jesus, I'm sorry.
So, Tabitha, that is a great suggestion and a great thought. I'm going to have you roll a knowledge check. Knowledge is the
Ooh.
skill that we use for book learning.
Book
Yep.
learning.
But learning.
Book
That's right.
learning.
Okay. So I am. So I have 1 in knowledge, and I have a
I'm going to give you a
bunch of
TN of 2.
smarts.
Target number of 2, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. That's fine. So I'm gonna use 3 of my smarts. So I have 2. I've got 2 locked. So that way, if I need to pip, I'm good to go.
Yes.
So I have 1 success, and my next highest number is a 4. So I'm gonna burn both of those. Well, I mean, I guess I don't need to necessarily. Either way, I'm gonna have 2 successes.
2 successes. Crush it.
There you go.
Absolutely. You asked the quartermaster before you left for a map of the area. The map he gave you wasn't necessarily great, but it definitely had a kind of a rough outline of this town at the village itself, the village Ravey, and you see definitely on the map is Manor Rien.
Interesting.
There's the church. The little church is on the road on the outside. On that same road to get to Manor Rien. It's a small village church. And you see other structures there as well.
Yeah, it's basically just to help our whole squad get our bearings. So that way, it's like, oh well, we're gonna have to go north in order to get there.
Yep.
So it just helps point us along. What are
You can definitely orient.
Yeah, I probably don't have blueprints for the hospital though, do I?
Oh no.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
But we tried. We tried, though. We tried.
Yeah, listen, you got to ask.
Worst
Never
thing to
know
tell
what
you
I'm
is
going to
no.
be given.
He said he was generous.
Yeah.
All right. So, you have that information. Where do you all head from here?
Well, I'm going to show everybody the map. It's like, all right, so we're here, right? So we're right next to the church. We're going to have to go up this path for at least a little while to make it to what is probably the front gates or the back gates of the hospital. We're not entirely sure because this map is just vague enough that we know this is an entrance, and that's pretty much all we know. But this is the way that we're going. So if you guys spot those people again, at least we'll have some orientation of where we're supposed to go if we have to, well, take a shortcut.
And we might want to take a shortcut because what I'm thinking is the groups that came in before probably just headed right up there thinking there's nothing wrong. It's going to a hospital, and they ain't never come back.
Should we speak with the nuns and see what information or intel they may be willing to share?
We can.
Can't hurt.
Were they where you saw these 2 figures? Were they? That's in the direction that we have to go, or in a different direction?
It is in the direction of the manor.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, maybe we should go. I mean, I think you raise a good point, Derek. Like, but we shouldn't do it the way that standard operating procedure would indicate that we should, because that hasn't worked out 3 times. So
Well, I always go by what my pappy had always told me. Don't be a fool, go to school. And the more knowledge that we get, the less of a fool we'll be.
School. Go to school. Don't be a fool.
I hate to say this, however, given their religion and their habits, but we might want to consider the nuns as potentially hostile until proven otherwise. Potentially. He's going to drop his eyes and look at the ground because that was not something he felt really comfortable saying. But
Yeah.
3 groups came in and didn't leave.
Well, JC, you're not wrong. I
Nope.
mean, when you look at the state of the town, essentially anybody could, be the cause of so many other teams going missing. So it's not great to think about, but it's not worth risking either.
He nods. He looks proud that someone gave him a compliment. He doesn't say anything, but you can see it on his face. His dirty face.
He just lights up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, someone saw me.
Love it.
Right. I mean, I'm not like in charge, but Derek, you want to lead the way? Like you had some idea where you went up this way before? You want to take us by the right path or the path you used before?
Yeah, let's go around. Let's not take the main road. Let's kind of skirt around the outskirts. Just be very careful. Don't want to step on nothing that we don't want to step on. Just kind of be quiet and see what we see.
As you head up that way, and Tabitha, on your map, there are little offshoots off the main road, probably led to individual farms. This is Pierre Road, obviously going to the whatever they go into the farm of that family or something of that sort. Just glorified cart paths. As you head up that way, you pass that little church. That church does not have a roof. The northeast corner of the church is fallen. The tower itself, the little belfry that's there, has definitely seen better days. May not even be structurally sound, but the most important thing that you see, the little cemetery next to the church. All of the headstones, they all appear to be almost meticulously cleaned, and all of the graves are dug up.
Nope.
So, as we're passing by the church, given that I'm prone to pants instead of skirts, just for the sake of ease, right? I'm gonna reach into my left pocket and rub the cross that I have in there. It's just comforting enough with the unease that I feel looking at all of these graves being dug up. Like, no, whatever happened here is not in God's will. This is potentially real dangerous.
Nope, I want to go home. I hate it here.
That's a hard no. Bridget doesn't like it.
It's a hard no. Like, what the hell are we doing over here again? Take me home.
Oh yeah. All right.
I gotta take the part of my brain that knows what monster Brandon asked me about earlier off, and
listen, I had one instinct, and I'm like, no, vampires. That's not a good plan.
This is not good. This is not good. I don't like this at all. This is I don't know if I pick up on any sort of like is there like a passive perception here for like creepy stuff, Brandon, or do I have to like, because this is not good. I just know that people don't dig up graves for no reason. This is bad, but like, how bad? Does it feel extra bad, or does it just feel regular bad when I see this?
Do you have a set whisper path, or do you have a general whispers knowledge?
No, mine's set. I took chaos songs.
Okay, go on and roll your whisper skill, please.
Yeah, I will do it. Just against anything in particular,
I'm also
or just hard to get.
I'm going to do a TN of 3.
Yeah, that seems fair. All right. Well, I'm going to do the same roll that I did before. Let's see what I get this time. That's going to be a straight reroll of all 4 of those dice. I did not get. Yeah, I don't have it, and I want a 3. I want to burn 2 cards to succeed on this. This doesn't feel like it's that important, but yeah, I don't.
Wow.
You don't like it.
I don't like it, but I don't know anything more. I can accept that at this point in the adventure.
That's where I am. I don't understand it. And I hate it. I want to go home.
All right.
Joette is definitely going to be shaking her head like, this is not good. I probably should be saying that too, like kind of making like I see JC, you don't like this. Tabitha, you don't like this. We're all like making eye contact and shaking our heads. I think nope, not good, not good. We're all in agreement.
Now, why in the world would somebody dig up the bodies and clean the graves?
I think the graves being cleaned is what's most unsettling for me. How many are there? Can I get a count?
Yeah, just there. This is a small village, a small village, cemetery. So there's probably less than 50 here. Probably these are some like maybe some from the same family, where they just would reinter remains and stuff in the same area. Or maybe even there may be some formerly prominent members of the community that were here. You also know, just like back home, on farms and in those communities, your own private property may have had its own small cemetery just for the family.
Yeah.
That's just it's something. But here, these are people who either they didn't own property, or they were, this was all done for the benefit of the family, for the church or whatever.
So Brandon,
No.
I just want to clarify. You're telling me that there's 50.
Yeah,
At
I was
least.
gonna say.
Open graves.
I was gonna say like
with polished headstones. Okay.
like this is a small village, so there's 50 people buried here. Oh yeah, because that's a number that I wanted. Like 12 people, sure, that's a small village.
I wanted like a dozen. He's like, oh, there's like 8, not 50. That's the county. I'm so upset. Okay, or whatever.
I find it very funny that everybody else is freaking out and Derek is sitting here trying to figure out, well, why on earth would they dig it up? Not even just oblivious to everything else.
Right. I love how everyone's just like shaking their head. And Derek's like, huh.
I don't know a lot about doctrine, but if they've been in this conflict a long time, they may have dug the bodies up just to get the wraps, stuff like that from the old clothes. I don't know. But like I said, I ain't no doctor.
No, but there's no reason to polish the headstones either.
No.
It's the polishing of the headstones that's disconcerting. That feels ritualistic.
If they're going to go out of their way, right, to mess up these bodies, they're digging them up. They're a lot more likely to destroy the headstones than they are to like make them brand new.
That is about as weird as a 3-tailed squirrel. Yep.
I love that.
Oh, I can't.
Somebody put it on the quote board. Chris, I know you got me. Quote board.
JC and Tabitha, can both of you? I will either roll an investigation check or a knowledge check for me. Tell me which one you're rolling, and tell me what number you get, number of successes you get. I'm not going to give you a target number up front.
Okay, so I'm going to use knowledge, and I'm going to use 4 of my 5 smarts, and I'm going to keep one in the chamber for re-rolls or whatever I need. So that gives me a dice pool of 6. Sorry, that gives me a dice pool of 5.
He's going investigation, and because he's so uncomfortable right now, we're just going to throw all of our spaghetti at the wall at the same time.
Love it.
I
love it.
I love that the way to play.
So I want to burn my last dot to re-roll the ones that aren't successes.
Okay.
Oh, and that was so fucking helpful. I've got 4 successes.
All right.
I mean, that's a good roll.
That's awesome.
Good roll.
Yeah.
And yours was knowledge.
Yes, mine was knowledge.
Okay. I'm gonna and JC, what'd you get? How many successes did you get?
Yeah, JC failed every single one.
Love it. All right. So JC, you're just sitting there, just like, nope. You can't really focus. Tabitha, you're sitting there taking a look at all of this stuff, and it does not appear to you that the graves were dug up hastily. and it does not appear to you that you see that these headstones and stuff are polished and maintained. This almost looks as though it was done with a modicum of respect. All right.
That's even worse.
Yeah. So it's like, hey, well, we need to maintain this, for future reference.
I don't know, you guys, these graves are, it's like they were like being dug up to, maybe be reburied. Like, I don't know where the bodies went, but they took their time. Whoever tore up a fucking graveyard to redo it. We have no idea where these bodies are, but everything is set in place for very likely to re-earth whoever was here. Because there's no way that these gravestones are polished just as a accidental thing. Somebody, or many somebodies, did this on purpose and slow to make sure that whatever they were doing was methodical enough that they're not going to cause other issues. I think we should move on. I don't want to be here anymore.
I don't like it, but I like being here even less. So yeah.
All right.
Tabitha, one question, if you can. His eyes are low. How long did this all take? How recent is this? Is this last couple of days? Last week?
With 4 successes, Tabitha, you can see that some were probably dug up, months ago. Some of them a few weeks ago. That this looks like it's been an ongoing process.
JC, this has been a long time. Like, some of that dirt is dried out because it's been in a pile for so long, and some of it maybe a few days ago. I can't give you a full time estimate because my geology is not really up to snuff, but when the dirt's dry, it usually means it's been there for a while.
Yep.
He's going to turn his eyes over to Joanna. When was that first crew sent in? And basically what he's trying to do is see if he can tie a correlation between when they started digging graves to when our first troops arrived. If there is one, but that's the road he's trying for.
Yeah, I as a player, I don't know. That's a good question, but yeah,
So,
would Joanna know that?
I would say the first group was probably sent maybe 3 weeks ago. It's just come check this out, and they've been sent throughout that time span.
So I'll give that answer, but like sort of a very clipped, like 3 weeks, kind of like direct, sort of like, yeah.
Are there any like drag marks or like cart marks or wheel marks or anything like that, like a well-used path from the graveyard?
So this particular this is like the main road into and out of town. The main road into and out of town. This church was right here, right next to this path. You were getting ready to move up, like towards the manor, and then branch off onto one of those side roads. So this would probably be the most well-traveled path in this entire village. These cart marks are definitely well trodden. I'm gonna say if you can give me an investigation of 4 or a transport roll of 3, I will give you more info.
Oh, interesting. So the DCs can vary depending on what the skill is. Interesting. Okay.
Yeah, and I generally, I'll base that on how a player is wants to use a skill.
Yeah.
Or if someone says, "Hey, instead of that, can I do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Like, if you can justify it, I'll roll with it.
Yes. Okay.
So you said an investigation of 4?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Or a
transport 3.
transport of 3.
Yeah, I don't have any transport, so I am actually going to reduce the test by 1. So I'm going to go for the 3.
Hey!
And I will use 1 dice from investigation. And you said guts was based on investigation, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Investigation should be based on guts. Yep.
All right. So I'm going to use 1 dice from investigation, 3 from guts. I'm going for it. I'm not keeping anything in the chamber.
All right.
I'm looking for 3. And I got 3 6s.
Boom! Nailed it. All right. Your investigation, of this cart path, like of this main path, you find a particularly well-defined set of cart tracks, which look like, with some of the rain that has been here over the past few days, now even though it's under a kind of a warm sun, that they're very well defined wheel tracks that look like they were pulled right through mud, and then the mud has dried. So these are relatively recent cart tracks.
Okay.
And they look like they're going right up the main road.
Y'all can see right here, the cart path looks pretty recent too. You can see it goes right up towards the main path and then straight up.
Also, because you got that, in the manner you got that, you do not see any. You do not see what you would define as the. You don't see like hoof prints from a horse. It's not a traditional beast of burden. I mean, you're from Virginia. You use large horses to drag lumber. It's not unheard of. One of the things that you notice is what look like they're roughly in the shape of footprints, but they're about this big, and it's not. But it's definitely not a foot. It looks like. Derek, did you have any siblings back home?
Yeah, I've got a sister and a brother.
Are they younger?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
so
not fucking child footprints.
No, not child footprints. It looks like when your siblings, when you would sit there and like your father would put you to work. Hey, Derek, I need you to go cut down that tree. I need you to load it up on the wagon or whatever. And they'd sit there and they'd play and build mud pies. It looks as though it's made out of like the hand prints or whatever, just the little markings that your siblings would mush into clay. You notice that and you're like, I mean, it looks like a footprint, but when it comes to like, you were looking for wagon wheels, and you just see what looks like kids making mud pies.
Nope.
What in tarnation is that?
Bridget, I want to go home.
You know what? It's so funny because I'm literally yelling at chat right now for being so team Brandon and all of this bullshit. I want to go home too. I hate everything. Why is this so stressful?
Why the hell would they be making mud pies while hauling bodies? This don't make sense.
Derek, do you share this with any of your party members?
Yeah, you'll see there. It'd be like looking there, staring at it, and say, "JC, come here. You got a good eye. Does that look like mud pies?"
Come here.
Skip, you're an asshole. JC is going to saunter over. I'm sorry, what am I looking at?
All right, you see the cart prints right here, the cart tracks, where there should be like hoof prints from a horse, or at least footprints from like somebody dragging. It looks like, you know, how when you were a kid, you get in the mud and you just, you know, you started throwing it at everybody, and then you started like squishing it together. That's what this looks like. Or am I just blind?
Derek points it out to you, JC. Not lying. It looks like it in roughly the shape of a large footprint is just like stacked, mushed up handprints. Does that make sense? Roughly the shape of a footprint, but it's just like mushed handprints. And they are baked into they're sun-baked into this formerly muddy earth.
Derek, I don't know what to make of this. I don't have the comprehension to even know where to start with something like this. But I do have a feeling that those other 3 teams aren't going to be found in a great condition, if found at all.
Something stinks like horse manure around here.
Absolutely.
If there were horses.
Yeah, because it's not being dragged by a horse because Brandon hates people. I'm so stressed out. JC is going to look back over to the ladies who he knows are the brains of the operations. It's baked in. It's large enough for us to take it. Should we take it?
No.
Take it? Like as a sample?
No, JC, just leave it where it is.
Okay.
And I'm going to pull out the map again, because you said there were like these, you know, like smaller things that look like they're going to farms and stuff, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So I'm going to walk over to Derek, and it's like, okay, so we're right in this area, and if we're going to avoid going up the main road, and I want to like kind of like find a path that takes us kind of like parallel to a certain point, and if it gets to a point where we're like crossing a field, or you know, it's an abandoned farmhouse or something like that, I'd rather do that than go up the main road where there's this clear thing that makes no sense, no logical sense between this fucking church and cemetery and there's no horse or donkey or anything that has driven this cart. Just inherently emotionally, I'm very uncomfortable. So it's like, no, you know what? We are going. I know that I was probably like team main road. I am now team hide in the cornfields. Okay.
Love it.
Yeah. Hide in the woods that have already been destroyed by artillery fire.
Yep. You know that there are a number of these paths. There's one that leads generally west, kind of like, you know, west by northwest, goes up to, you know, some other farms. It'll intersect with another smaller road, you know, going to some of these areas. The manor house, which is marked on your map, you know, Manor Rien, is off to the north, and that smaller cart path, or you know, does not necessarily go directly there, but there are fields or what you can presume to be the estated lands of whatever that manor was, whether that's farmland, whether that's, you know, was potentially wooded land, whatever that is. You know, there's a small river around there as well, but that's all clearly, I say clearly, marked on your map that this quartermaster gave you of this area.
Brandon, is there a way for us to kind of duck and hide along the way while we go, or has it been kind of leveled?
No, I mean it's pretty level. There is the, you know, that rise just on that main road that goes north and then goes over. That's right on that ridge where you saw those 2 nun-like figures.
Yeah.
If you go down that western route, it would kind of go around that rise. Presumably there are those stone farm fences throughout this area, but there's no other geography mapped on this.
Well, if we go that way, we can kind of hide as we go. Just kind of alter our walking if we need to. But I suggest that we don't go the main way until we figure out what the hell is going on.
I would concur.
The main road has a couple strikes against it at this point. So, yeah, definitely going to do some cross-country travel.
So do we want to do our normal formation? Derek, you in the front. I'll follow Derek. Joanna, you're behind me, and JC, you'll cover our six down there.
Yes, ma'am.
I hijacked that, y'all.
You did. It's
our usual formation.
Thoroughly and effectively.
We'll go with the lightning bolt formation instead of the fireball formation. Got it.
Listen, I'm here for it. I think it's just at least worth noting one more time. They know that we're here.
Yeah.
And then he's just going to like drop his head and walk his happy ass back to his position at the back of the crew.
Love it. Great. You all, unless you tell me otherwise, I'm going to presume you're marching and you're going to be at least aware of, like, trying to keep aware of your surroundings. Okay.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
March up this side road. All right. And you're skirting that main rise. Go down this area. And like I said, there's some stone. There are some stone fences as you go through. You go, I'm going to say, walk probably about a couple hours as you're going and trying to be careful. At this point, the hot sun above you it becomes overcast a little bit, and off in the distance, from the direction you originally came, now that it is overcast, you're starting to hear the very, 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 very far off rumblings of the artillery fire, that you'd heard. It has been kind of an ever-present sound since you've been here in closer to the front, but now that it is overcast and you're starting to hear those echoes, it's starting to sink in where you really are. It is no longer a bright sunny day, even though things are still kind of feeling weird. Now you're getting an additional level of reality just being hammered into your core. You managed to go go around a couple of these farms. Some of the things that you noticed is there are the farmhouses and things that you had seen earlier. Some of those are bombed out. You're walking through on this road. There are craters of various sizes. It looks like shelling has happened. There's the remains of various animals that have been picked over by carrion birds as you're going through. These are things that you have seen countless times since you've been here. One thing you definitely notice you have not seen another person. There are none of these farms have people. None of these houses have people. There's no smoke coming from these chimneys. There is no one working these fields.
Well, it's a summer day. You don't need a fire
They're
on
at
a
the
summer
pub,
day.
which was bombed out.
I feel like the chances of at least me being shook by this are probably pretty low. If we're seeing this like everywhere all the time, it makes perfect sense why there's not anybody around here. Everything's been kind of blown up or set on fire. Things are, dead and awful. And it's not good. It's not like I'm happy to see it, but I also feel like I've become emotionally numb to it. It doesn't bother me. It's just part of what reality is right now.
Okay.
And I'm assuming no sign of livestock or anything like that either.
The only sign of livestock you've seen is the livestock that didn't make it. Tabitha, from your comment, you can assume that anyone who could make it out either took what they could and left rather than staying here, or they didn't make it. So you continue down the path. You get to that area on your map that had the river that was kind of running nearby the town. There is a bridge that was marked on your map, and this is not an inconsequential river. This is larger than a stream. You probably have to figure out a way to get through it if the bridge wasn't here. You get there and you realize this bridge has been bombed out. There's a mill off to the let's see if you're going off to the east side of where this bridge was, on the same bank that you are on. There is a grist mill there, and you are. It does not appear to be. It does not appear to be running. There's the mill itself, like the wheel appears to be locked in place. The bridge is completely bombed out, and it's in rubble on both sides.
So there's a bridge that's destroyed.
Yes,
but also a mill that is not destroyed.
The mill is not destroyed. It is not like completely shelled out. Does not appear to be in the best shape, but it looks as though it has not been destroyed, not been bombed.
Is it a water mill on the river, or is it like a windmill?
Water mill on the river. Watermill on the river. Yep. Sorry.
No. You're good. So is it so crossing the river is sort of like the next thing, I guess?
Yes.
That's what we got to do. Like, how deep does it look? Does it look like we just wade across, or is it a more substantial river than that?
Can you describe, Joanna, how you are going to be? Are you going up onto like the damaged edge of the bridge? Are you going around to the side? And I just want to.
No, if the bridge is out, I don't want to walk on what's left. I'm on the bank, kind of like trying to peer out into the water, like get a sense of like, is this like a channel that has been created to power the mill, and therefore it's only going to be like a 1.5 feet deep, or is this more like, I live next to the Ohio River, like that's like a mile across, so like that's a river.
Yeah.
Where are we on this?
It is not. It is definitely not as large as the Ohio. It's very much. It appears as though it could be forded, or you could walk it. You could walk through, but you might be neck deep. But it does not appear to be like impassable.
Yeah. Oh, one more question.
Yeah.
I'm looking. You say, was it a stone bridge, and is it collapsed, and there's like possibly rubble?
Yes.
Above the water.
Yes.
That we could like hop if we wanted to.
Do your very best.
Right. We'd see what Joanna's athletics is. Oh, good.
That's always a good sign.
I feel real confident for us right now. As soon as we get to the river and it's like the stop and everyone is kind of like obviously trying to figure out what we're doing next, JC is just immediately going to pull out rope that he doesn't have on his character sheet, but I'm assuming that he has on his pack.
Through the magic of role playing, you have rope.
Look at the magic of role playing. You are a generous narrator. He is going to start pulling out rope and basically start getting that formatted for like the standard bridge execution. That he's not saying it as much as he's like, "Oh, we're at a river. Oh, you guys look like you want to cross. Great. Let me start getting this ready. Let me get this knotted. Let me do so he's getting that ready."
Okay. Derek and Tabitha, there anything you're doing in particular? If not, we'll have a fun surprises. Fun surprises.
What?
Oh no.
So fun.
We're all so stressed.
No. There's nothing I can think of right now that I want to be doing besides going home.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Oh.
Any big logs around that maybe we can tie to some of the rocks ahead to kind of get, I don't want to say a makeshift bridge, but if we fall over, we can grab it and just kind of hand walk over. Anything like that?
I'm gonna say probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. It's a good idea. Not that's visible. I don't know if there's anything in the mill, but from where you are right now, no.
Okay. Then that's what I would have been doing, just kind of analyzing that.
Great. JC, Joanna, as you all are kind of looking this over, Joanna's like trying to look at the look at the rocks themselves. Gaius, you're tying loops into this into this this rope, so everyone has something to hold on to and can at least hold people keep you all together. That's fine. You notice and Joanna, you kind of notice this first as you kind of get out into the water, a kind of like acrid smell. The water smells maybe just a little off. And there's only what you can, well, the water smells a little off. Hold on one second. JC, as you're tying this, you're sitting there kind of like on the bank. You have your rope out there. When you get to like the third loop or the fourth loop, and this rope is already damp. You're sitting there like wrapping it. When you're squeezing the rope and tying the knot, you notice that the water that is kind of being wrung out of the rope itself has a pinkish hue to it. Almost like it's been diluting blood. And Joanna, you notice that maybe in some of the debris that is kind of caught up on the rocks here, there are animal and human body parts. Not animal, sorry. I will exclude animal because it is not their body parts of what appear to be human remains.
Oh, lovely.
Not a whole lot, but enough that make you uncomfortable.
Yeah.
You can decide at what level of human remains in the water make you uncomfortable, but it is enough to make you uncomfortable.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think it's one of those things where it's like as you've described, we've seen a bit of the war already, so this is not. I think it's definitely more than it would have been a few months ago, right? Before you're like, oh, that's a surprising amount. Yeah. I think I'm not gonna point this out necessarily. Like, we still got to get across this river to get to where we're going. So this is not good, and this is going to be like a grit your teeth and get through it kind of situation. So like. Right. I'm not necessarily the brawniest character here, but like, JC knows how to make a bridge or a rope by whatever. I'm there to support it. We're going to do it. We got to get over. And if we're using the rocks along the way or whatever, just kind of like, it's not good. It's not good. I guess I will ask if I notice this, can I get, does these body parts, these little fragments that I'm witnessing, are they like, I don't know, like, do they look like, are there any like cuts? Is this fresh chopped body parts, or is this more like partially decayed random body parts? You know,
That is
like does this look like a
very good
Yeah.
question? I want to the level of success here. I will give you some information. I'm going to give you an investigation of TN2.
investigation? Let's see what I can come up with. That. Yeah, I think. Oh, yeah. I rolled all failures there, so that is. I don't know. I think that's then if I fail to, that's like a.
You rolled all failures.
Yeah, I did. That's a question that's like I'm asking, but I'm not looking. I'm like,
Got it.
like, oh, that's okay. Is that normal or is that extra creepy? I don't. Oh, here's the rope in my hand. Don't like I'm not. I'm like, it's sort of like one of those things where it's like the fear is or the question is running, but I'm not trying to find the answer out.
Yeah. So, JC, because you also noticed that like pinkish tinge in the rope, does that how does that impact you? Your overall, the rope itself has 4 loops on it. You hold each other there, together. So if someone slips off the rock, 3 people are still on rocks and can pull them back in, and you're just making a human chain effectively. It's going to be. I love the idea. So, but how does this impact you?
Yeah, so like as he's wringing out the rope and he's looking to see if he actually got one big enough for the guy that's 6'5" and 250 pounds, he's like, no, I need to do that a little bit wider. And he stretches it out and like that pink water starts running down his hand. I think he stops. I think he looks at the water. He looks upstream where body parts are like floating and waiting by. And there's something about blood and death in the water that he recognizes, but he can't remember where because he spent that goddamn card at the beginning of the game. There's something where he's like, there's blood in the water, and he's
right on
the
edge.
It's like if you can't remember if you turned the stove off before you left the house, or if you were driving home from work and you pulled up in the driveway, but you don't actually remember the journey from the point that it's one of those moments where he can't even be embraced by the horror of what he's seen as much as he is like, why is this so familiar to me?
Right.
And I can't, and he just can't. And I think he's gonna get up. He's gonna wring off the rope the best he can. He feels sad. He feels crestfallen because he feels like he's lost something. He can't even tell you what he fucking lost. And he's gonna head over to my notes that I put down. That's my bad. Hold on. He's gonna head over to Derek. I think you should go first.
All right.
I'm going to give you all a challenge.
Oh, God.
This is going to be a athletics challenge.
Oh, good.
So you're athletic. You are all doing this together. So you all have to make an athletics skill roll. Athletics is tied to brawn. If you do not have the athletic skill, you have to spend a point of brawn to temporarily get the athletic skill.
Okay.
Then you have to spend brawn to buy dice in that skill.
Okay.
That's rude, but it makes sense.
So disrespectful.
Now, it's the entire concept of, am I smart enough to have a good idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You may not know anything about this, but you can figure it out. So
Yes.
I cannot.
So you 4 have to get 5 successes. 5 successes among all 4 of you to make it across this river.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
So that so the journey that we succeeded on, can one of us spend that to bring it down?
Ooh, yeah.
Yes, you can.
Okay, I'm spending mine.
Thank you.
Okay,
thank you for being part of the team. Thank you.
So now it is 4.
All right. So I don't have athletics. I've got 5 brawn. So I'm down to 4 brawn because I have to spend 1 to get athletics.
Yep.
And then I have to spend another 1 to basically give myself a die in athletics, right?
Correct.
So I'm down to 4 dice. Or
so if you
3 dice.
5,
3.
you spend 1 to get the skill, 1 to get a die.
Okay.
You could spend another to get another die, and then hold 2 back. So you could start with 2 dice, but only 2 manipulations.
Or I could just go 3 and go all.
Or you could go
all
3. Yep, you could go 3 and then have one to reroll.
I'm gonna roll the 2 dice I have.
Okay.
Quick question for the narrator.
Yes.
Before Allie announces. Can we cheat code it where we go person by person, or do we need to declare on the front end what we're doing?
You individually make your best roll.
Okay.
You can talk about it. You could say like, hey, I don't have it. I'm going to have to build my die roll this way. I don't care. But then once you roll, like you build your die pool, you roll, you tell me what you get together.
Got it. So like if Allie declared right now, oh, I have 2 successes, you don't want us reverse engineering like,
Nope.
Oh, well, got it. Understood. Okay.
No. You can tell how you're going to build your roll. Don't tell me what you get yet.
Okay.
I have one more question.
Yep.
All right. The bridge you said was stone?
Yep.
Okay. So it's kind of, we're basically jumping rocks. Am I correct?
You're jumping rocks. Yep,
okay.
That's exactly
so
what you're
there's
doing.
nothing above us.
Correct.
Okay. But below us, there's rock and there's water. Or
Body
was
parts.
was there any wood in this bridge, or was it strictly stone?
If there was wood, there is no wood here.
There's no wood here. Okay. Trying to think of what I could. Okay. Then that changes what I was going to do. Okay.
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 All right. I will just give me a thumbs up when everyone has rolled.
All right.
Okay. Tabitha's got hers.
Jesus.
Joanna is in a panic.
It's not a panic. It's like you got cards, you can spend them.
You got cards, you can spend them, and I love it when you spend cards.
I know you do. I think I may have to spend 2 cards to get this to make my contribution here.
Do it.
Yep, I'm doing it.
All right, so Joanna is spending 2 cards. We got them out here on the table. Okay, so JC has thumbs up, and Derek has thumbs up. Wait, Derek, do you have thumbs up? Sorry.
Yeah, and I need to spend cards, but I'm debating on which ones I'm going to spend.
Okay. I'm excited.
You would be.
Hold on, I gotta blow it up. My eyes are not as young as they used to be.
It's so funny. I had to do that too, and that's why I went with the physical handout that he gave us.
Yep.
Okay. I think I know which one I'm going to do, but I just need to check one more thing. I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
And I'm so
I literally
sorry
wrote it down as
There we go.
physical notes.
Did you listen? Use a tool. Work the tools that work for you. I hate to take away from tension in this moment here, but I do have another question for you, baby. How do jokers
I'm going to move
work
that over
again?
to the right, Derek. I'll just shift that over to the right just to keep it differentiated from Matt's. Okay.
Okay. I'm spending 2.
Okay.
Oof.
And
We're burning through it to do this.
Bridget, you said you had a question?
Yeah, I'm sorry to take away from the tension, but it's a mechanical question that matters.
No, you're good.
How do jokers work again? I'm not immediately seeing it on the sheet.
Jokers counts as being wild. So you can narrate whatever suit you want.
Okay.
And if it is a wild card. If it is the red Joker, we have a red Joker and a black Joker in our deck. You should have a red Joker and black Joker in any deck. A black Joker will trigger what we call a corruption chance when it is revealed. It will also any of the Jokers will also cause us to reshuffle the discard back into the deck.
Shit.
A corruption chance, by the way. This is a core mechanic of Never Going Home. I'm going to show this very briefly. At the bottom of our character sheets, you see these red dots.
Yeah.
It says corruption.
Mm-hmm.
So corruption is a mechanic that is kept between the individual players and the narrator. If you have something, say a whisper effect, a Joker comes out, a particularly terrifying moment, whatever it is, that causes a corruption chance, someone will draw the top card of the deck. They will look at it. If it is black, they will mark a corruption on there. They will pass it to the narrator. The narrator will look at it, and they will mark it. Now, that doesn't mean that the other players know information. You just know that a corruption chance happened. If you ever get to 5 corruption by the end of the mission, your character wanders off into no man's land and roll up a new character. See you next week. Like, now, also corruption, you can lean into that and you can role play differently. So it's like, I may not operate in my party's best interest. I may mess with a die roll. I may not contribute my best cards to a journey or a challenge. Things like that. As you become more corrupted. So, I'm just going to put that out there.
Wicked.
Does that help, JC?
Yeah.
Cool. Love it. Okay.
So
because both Derek and Joanna are contributing cards, I'm going to go one, then the other. Derek, if you don't mind, can you flip over your first card and then we'll narrate what you're giving up?
Absolutely.
7 of diamonds.
Mm-hmm. Actually, these are kind of linked.
Okay,
so
you
I'm
can.
going to play. Can I do both?
I'll let you
Okay.
reveal it. That's fine.
Okay. So I mentioned in my character introduction that he was there when the wreck of the old 97 happened at Danville. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that old, but it was very tragic. 14 people died. People were burned by steam and everything like that. So this triggers something in him where he's seeing the river down by the Dan River where it happened, where there's blood in the water and things like that. He remembers that hopeless feeling, even though he was just a kid when it happened, but he saw his father rush to aid people there as they were fishing along the riverbank when it happened.
Yeah.
He saw the hope of his father trying to find people in there that were still living and everything like that. And just the hope and the desire to get his crew across to see that hope is something, and just the picture of the tragedy, the adventure of that happening in his head, he's going to have to just let go, just so he could get his crew across, get his friends across to this, because he doesn't know what he's going to face now, but he knows what he's facing now. And that picture, that hope, that the dream of finding people who are still alive, he wants to make sure that it's his crew that's still alive over there.
This is at the forefront of your mind as you and your crew are going over, and that memory of being with your father, seeing your father genuinely care about other people and trying to help people in the community and help people who are in need, and how instrumental that was to you, informative to you growing up, just goes away. All right, I'm gonna put those to discard. And Derek, we will get your results in just a second. Joanna, please narrate what you have. A 7 of clubs and a 2 of hearts.
Yeah. So I think I had also kind of started to formulate a relationship-based memory of my own father, and I think that the sort of thing that I pick up on there is sort of like the again this like memory from very early on in her life when she goes to like the butcher shop with Dad. Like we go and like getting out the cuts of meat or whatever that we're gonna have and fry up, or corned beef and mash or whatever. And like, so it's like that sort of like, that's like good times, right? It's like, oh, we're going to go to the market, and that acrid smell that you described, and the whole like being around these bodies here in the water, that is like, I don't have the good part of like that blood smell that I can connect back to that like childhood memory anymore. That's the part that goes away. It's just like, oh, blood is unpleasant to smell when it's like on your hands and on your clothes and all your stuff. There's no other level that is activating at it. It's just sort of like, oh, this is unpleasant. This is something it's almost like the current experience is replacing this older memory of the meat in the water. It's
I love that idea, because as a kid, you go to the store with your parents or whatever, and you go to the meat market or whatever, you drive, there's certain things there, and I love how you're replacing that memory with only the bad. I love that. Okay, that said, I'm going to go around. You tell me how many successes
was it worth it? We burned 4 cards to do this.
All right. JC, how many successes did you get?
Just
One. All right, we got 1. Tabitha, how many successes did you get?
Oh, 2.
Okay,
thank
so
God.
that's a total of 3. Joanna, how many did you have?
I got 1. I'm
That's
contributing
4,
1.
that's what we needed because we
I know.
Tabitha used their success that we had earlier from the journey, which I love. Great team effort. Derek, you're going to contribute extra to that? 1, boom, 5.
Boy.
You would have made it even without it, but that was 4 cards that were discarded. Love it.
Great
love it,
team
love it.
sacrifices. That was 4 cards and a pregame journey boon all thrown at that well done table.
And yeah, it was. We had to. It was.
We
Now,
all really want to make it to the spooky fucking hospital.
We do.
Here's what I'm going to do because that was awesome and I really love it. I do like to reward good effort and collaborative storytelling with other stuff. Everyone, there's a card on the table for you. You can grab it, put it in your hand.
Hey, thank you.
You're welcome.
You're a good man.
He's a generous narrator.
So you manage to make it across the river. There's no one fell off. You managed to make it through. And you continue down, at this point, you're going more cross country. You hopped a stone fence. You're in a field going in generally the same direction as that manor. I'm going to say that you start to smell lavender. You start to smell lavender, that was grown on the fields, in the fields of the estate as you get closer to the manor lands themselves. Smell lavender. It's actually very pleasant after crossing that river and the acrid smell of the water, and some of that stuff might be on your boots and on your pants, on your hands. That rope is still on JC's sack. You're still smelling that stuff. The lavender is a very welcome aroma as you continue on towards the estate. That aroma is mixed with another smell, and you don't necessarily know what it is. Everyone roll me an investigation check. This is TN1. This is very, very basic. I just want to throw it out there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that 4 successes, JC? Oh,
Yeah.
geez. All right. Derek got a success. Man.
I got plenty of success.
All right.
Wow.
Great.
We did
Did
real
everyone
good,
succeed?
guys. Yeah.
Yeah,
Not on
awesome.
the river. We had to stress on that one, but a scent check, we got it.
Yeah.
As you
It's like we're investigators, not soldiers.
Not
river crossers.
Right.
I didn't know we were going to
River
cross
crossers.
rivers when I made these characters.
when you get up through this field, there's a copse of a line of trees. There's probably more trees than you've seen since you even came to this this village. These trees are kind of right around the estate. Some of them do look a little worse for wear or whatever, but you kind of go through. It's a copse that looks like it separates one field from another. You kind of go through here, and the aroma is a little more strong. As you get to the copse of trees and you look out on the other side, you see the manor house across this field. It's probably looks like 2.5 stories. It's not a huge manor by any stretch. However, it looks as though like was probably the nicest structure in this village, maybe in this region. You notice what you were smelling.
Uh-oh.
In this field, between you field, yard, garden, whatever it is. It's a green space between this copse of trees and the manor house. There's what appears to be a long pit, which was looks like it has been dug in the ground, and it looks as though it is kind of like lightly smoking or smoldering, and you are smelling the the stench of like burned flesh, burned meat, interspersed with this with that lavender from the field where you just went through. Yeah. And now it slightly starts to drizzle. That overcast cloud, like all over the area.
At least still put out the fire in the body pit.
I always look on the bright side.
I'm gonna look up at the fucking sky like, great, thanks a lot for literally raining on our parade, whatever parade this is.
All right.
I'm so upset.
All right. Is there anything that you want to do or see here?
Oh, I just want to bypass this whole fucking trench. I'm done. I want to get to this fucking hospital, maybe light the whole thing on fire, and just go home.
Yeah, leave. Go home. No, we didn't find anything.
We didn't find anything. It was the weirdest
there
thing.
Wasn't. The place got bombed and got lit on fire while we were there. We were lucky to make it out alive. Saying.
We saw nothing. Absolutely nothing.
We saw nothing.
Oh, love
Don't
it.
send Team 5. We're telling you now there's nothing there.
But yeah. So, like, I see this trench and I'm over everything that's happening. So, without notifying anyone else of the team, sorry, y'all, I'm just booking it. Like, nope, I'm going to go towards wherever this fucking hospital is, this manor, whatever. Let's get a move on. I'm so over this, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this is like actually weirdly a more normal thing. Like, okay, creepy gravestones dug up in the churchyard, nurses in the distance wearing gas masks, river, like that's all like weird, but like you gotta get rid of the bodies if at a hospital. Like you can't just leave them laying around. Like, I mean, this is like within the realm of like some sort of normalcy, even though it's like also bad. That's what I'm feeling anyway. So I don't know. I'm like, okay. This is like, maybe we're past the weirdness.
You're like, oh, thank God it's just burn pits. Okay.
Well, you can justify it as, the cows were sick and had some sort of disease. You want to burn them so they don't get to the other cows. So, I think that's kind of what I'd do.
See, Derek gets it.
Yep.
All right.
JC's chin rolls. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Skip. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but Tabitha, on the other hand, does not appear to us to share our opinion.
Tabitha's booking it across this field.
I mean,
Tabitha, by the way, are you going to the let me describe this manor house a little bit more. Manor house, very much a French provincial estate. Got like your main entrance. You got a little looks like a room on top. 2 large windows on either side of the main entrance. The same above it. Just very rectangular block structure. There is a gravel kind of drive, loop right in front of that. It appears as though it's tree lined, which may go out to the main road, the one that you avoided at all costs. And then
that one.
There is a what appears to be a smaller path, maybe a utility path that goes off to the back of the home, the back of the estate, and some other smaller outbuildings of this house. There's 2 chimneys on either end. That's what you got.
Is there any shrubbery on this back path?
On the back path, sure. Through the magic of
Fantastic.
There's shrubbery.
So I'm gonna wait at this fucking shrubbery. Like, all right, where the fuck are you all?
I'm ready to go join Tabitha, but I think I got to know more about this pit first. Unfortunately, like Derek said, cows, but like I know what I expect to be in the pit, but I want to confirm if I can. I just want to give it like. You said it was gently smoking, so I don't imagine it's like a conflagration with a lot of smoke that's obscuring sight.
No.
Like I need
there
to
might
get
be because of the overcast and the constant rain right now, the steady rain that is happening. There's probably a low haze from the smoke. It's like when you make a campfire on a wet day.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that. It's just hanging around.
Right, but I need to see if there's like if these are soldiers' bodies that were at the hospital. There's going to be possibly paraphernalia associated? Are there bits of uniform? Are there boots? Is there like belt buckles? If there's none of that kind of stuff, then I haven't learned that. But if I have, I've learned that, and I know what's ended up with all the missing soldiers. That's our main mission here. So I got to get close enough to at least take a glance, looking for what I expect to see is like these soldiers didn't make it. Their bodies are being destroyed for, to prevent spread of cholera or something, right? But like,
JC, Derek, are you following Joanna?
I am.
JC has to go to the pit too because 2 things are happening. One, this smell of cooking meat is reminding him that he's hungry, and he is super embarrassed to be coming face to face with that realization with everything that's happening right now. So he needs to muscle his way through that because he thinks there's probably bodies burning in this pit too, and that shouldn't be making him hungry, but he's fucking hungry. And then the second thing that he has to go and deal with this pit on, if there's an active fire here, someone set it. And other than the 2 nuns on the other side of the river, they haven't seen anyone else. So he needs to get up to the trench for no other purposes to see if he can pick up on some tracks or to see who set the fire or how the fire was set. So he's going to the pit too.
Love it. Okay. Tabitha's like, I'll wait by the shrubbery.
Allie's face would be so loud.
Y'all are gonna regret your decision. I'm just saying.
I regret it already, babe.
Most definitely.
But you got to follow those mission objectives. We got to know what happened to the soldiers.
No,
Joanna, please describe how y'all get, how you approach this pit.
So I'm not expecting, like, we haven't seen any people. The fact that this is more of a smoldering fire, I expect this is maybe set yesterday. Me as a player, I don't know how long it takes, like, a pyre to happen. Whatever, but I'm imagining that this was like set yesterday and left here. So that's what I'm expecting. So that's what I'm approaching with some modicum of like caution, but like, I'm not trying to sneak up to the edge of the pit, right? I'm just kind of like, I got my staff.
You're not like belly.
No, absolutely not. Like I'm not running. I'm just sort of like, I'm going to move directly there and kind of like, once I get, whatever my height, right? Like I'm going to lean over enough that I can see. I hopefully I don't have to lean too far over so that I can see down far enough to see what is burning. Okay. And so I'm imagining I'm like a foot or 2 away from the pit, leaning kind of over to look in, but I'm not like, hopefully I'm far enough away. The last time I was on a stream, I fell into a pit that I was looking into. My character did. So
don't at me like that. Not in front of company. Don't do that in front of company. There's people looking at us right now. You want to fight in public like a couple? Damn it.
No. I'm just aware. Suddenly, very aware that like maybe I've created.
Kids are dangerous.
I've created a feedback loop for myself.
It could be a thing for you, babe. I'd be really excited.
It would
JC is going to cover her 6. Like literally,
Okay.
if she's heading up, he's going to be in a defensive position with his rifle sweeping, and he's just sticking with her as she approaches. And as soon as he's there up to the edge, he's going to do that thing where he's just like side to side with it, and he's going to have to lean back and lean into it and see what he's looking at.
Derek, what are you doing?
Okay, is there like multiple sides of this? Is it like one big hole? What
Yeah,
is it like?
it's probably about 40 feet long,
Okay,
probably about 10 feet wide.
okay. I'm
It's,
going to try
it's a rectangular pit.
rectangular pit. I'm going to go to the opposite side that they're on to kind of cover that in and see if I see anything different than what they're seeing, just in case they miss something, which I hope they don't.
Between the three of you, I would like for you to make a challenge roll, and I need a TN of 4, and this is a challenge roll with investigation. Tabitha, while they're doing this, you're on the at a shrubbery on the back, like towards the back corner of the manor house, right?
Yep.
Okay. You're looking around, and one thing that you notice is at the back entrance of the house on this utility path, there is a cart.
Mm.
It appears
Swell.
empty, but it is there by the back entrance.
Do we have a form of stealth in this game?
You do.
Yeah.
Ha
I'm gonna make. Oh, we do have stealth. This is a poor decision.
It is called stealth.
Yes, it's. Fuck. I'm gonna burn a card.
Okay.
Uh-oh, here we go.
And
Uh-oh.
and then I'm gonna roll my max brawn, which is 3. So that's swell.
Okay. Do it.
Okay, so a card first, yeah.
Yep. Because you're
Okay.
burning the card to get the ability
to get my yeah.
Sure.
I'm over here breaking Bridget's heart, so
Break it, baby. It's yours to
Got
break.
6 of diamonds.
so 6 diamonds. The the suit of diamonds is self ambitions or hopes, right?
Mhm.
So I lost a lot of hope at the beginning of deployment. I was trying to help out people who were wounded. I'm not a medic by any means, but just trying to pull people out from underneath rubble, or help, giving literally a shoulder in order to help people limp their way into safety. And
Yeah.
when there's a bomb goes off real close and I've got ringing in my ear, and the person who was right next to me is in parts.
Yep.
I wasn't able to get close to saving them. I lost a lot of hope in that that I was being effective at all, and also that I was going to make it out of this conflict alive.
Okay.
Ouch.
That level of kind of hopelessness, the memories that you have of that when you first got here, they just kind of I don't say that goes away. That hopelessness, you're it's almost like you're the last of that hope that you had is being like siphoned and sucked right out of you, that you are now dreading more, like that level of I'm never going to make it out of this. I'm never getting on a boat back home. I'm never going to see Ohio again. So that's where it's going, and it's just almost like it's being pulled out of you with like almost a yes as it whispers away.
Yeah, so the whole point of the stealth that I want to do is less about going to the cart and more about going to the door, probably where this cart is in front of. That's where I'm trying to get to.
Love it. Okay, going back to the other group. JC,
no.
Derek, Joanna, you had a challenge. All right. I'm going to start with Derek. I'm going to go to Joanna and then JC. Derek, did you build your roll? Did you want to discard any cards or anything?
I rolled 3 dice. I have a 1 in the hole,
Mm-hmm.
and I am going to use that to re-roll 2 of those.
Okay.
And I got 1 success.
And also, Joanna and JC, did you actually are you the ones that both have a success with the success from the journey left?
Yeah, I'm going to activate mine for this challenge.
Okay, got it. Okay. So you're activating it, so you're turning your TN of 5 to a TN of 4.
Yes,
right?
sir.
Okay. And Derek, wait. Yeah, I think that was right. Did I say TN of 5?
You
earlier?
did, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
It's 5 to
All
a
right,
4 now, yeah.
Go 4. All right. So Derek did his. Joanna, did you make your roll?
I contribute 3 successes to this.
3 successes to our 4. Derek, you got 2 successes, is that right? Or 1 success? So there's your 4. JC?
He added an additional 2.
All right. You guys crushed it. You all looking in this trench. Not only do you see that, yes, is exactly what you thought. You saw you find the charred remains of soldiers. You specifically notice there are very, very, very few, if any, complete bodies. It looks as though there are parts. Here's a leg here. There is you see a shoulder, or you see an arm, or whatever. But it's just like mounds. Like someone had taken like a snow shovel and just dumped some stuff in there and lit it on fire. You see that. You also notice, with 6 successes, you notice that the uniforms, the paraphernalia, the bits that you see maybe scattered around are not solely Allied or German uniforms, like one or the other. It's a combination of everything. You're seeing British, you're seeing French, you're seeing like, hey, there's an Australian. Like you're seeing a mix of uniforms here, or bits of uniforms here. Yeah. All right.
It's bad. I said it was bad at the beginning, and it hasn't gotten better.
It hasn't gotten better.
Becky back home used to read a lot. I'm not a big reader, but she used to read me a book called Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein?
Yeah, Frankenstein. Body parts. This shit's weird, man. So there's British, there's German, there's us. Are there any like local clothes?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Okay.
There's
all right.
And again, like this pit looks like it has been burned, but you guys got 6 successes. So yeah, there's also like small remnants of like, just like here, this is just a shirt which looks like it has been been cut off and partially burned, stuff like that. Because not only does it look like there's just body parts, but it also looks like there's some other waste material that was thrown into the burn pit,
but not complete bodies.
No,
and it doesn't look like the bodies have been there incomplete before they were burned.
No.
Well, shit.
JC looks. He doesn't speak.
I
think
Joanna. I'm sorry. Go
sorry,
go ahead, JC.
Oh, yeah.
No, go ahead. Please go ahead.
So I think JC looks, but he doesn't say anything. I think he probably starts crying, but it's not like one of those sobbing cries as much as just like he's just overwhelmed with a lot of emotion right now. So tears are running down his face, but he's not like, choking on tears or sobbing. He's going to pull out his notebook. He's going to do as accurate of a count as he can for body parts associated with uniforms per country, whether they're this is World War I. What are we talking about? Allies and Central Powers, I think. He doesn't matter. It's enemy, foe, allies. It doesn't matter. He's going to do as accurate as a head count as he can. And then he's just going to walk away from the pit. He has nothing to contribute to this conversation. He has nothing to contribute to this experience. He's going to walk away from this pit because Tabitha, wherever she is, shouldn't be
You saw
alone.
her skirt around the corner of the building.
Yep. He's just going to walk away from the pit. He's going to go find Tabitha because she shouldn't be here alone. Actually, none of us should be here at all, but she definitely shouldn't be alone.
Yeah.
That's I see that you're doing that, and I nod. Yep, good job. You got it down, and then let's go. Yep.
All right.
We need to reunite the party. I got nothing. No further investigations need to be made into this horrible pit now that fears are confirmed.
Okay. Derek, I assume you're going around as well.
He'll stare at the pit a little bit longer,
Mm-hmm.
thinking he may have seen smoke, bodies, from steam, burns,
Yeah.
but he can't grasp it. It's like, this is familiar.
Mm-hmm.
This is not right. I should know it. But it's like a little wisp of smoke. It's right there, and then it just kind of fades away.
Yeah.
And he'll turn and just shake his head and catch up with his friends.
Yeah. When you catch up, the back entrance of this house is double doors, only a couple of steps up to the double doors. Tabitha's there, off to the, hiding behind maybe a planter or something. When JC first gets around, Joanna, you come over after that. Derek brings up the rear right there, and you're all right there next to that door. That cart is there, right there by the back. And the and it's there's nothing else there. It's a two-wheeled cart, got two little pegs it's resting on right now. Looks like it has two handles right on the end, generally to mount the horse fittings too. Generally. Right.
Horses weren't pulling the carts that we just saw, but here we go.
Just saying.
Don't just say it, me, damn it.
So, narrator, for clarity, since I rolled for stealth,
Yeah.
I assume that I'm ahead of my compatriot.
Yes, 100%. You are. Yep.
So chances are I'm at the door and I'm getting ready to turn the handle, and I have drawn my knife at this point because
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm going to encounter, and if I need to, stab a nun, I'll stab a nun. So,
Yep. So JC, when you come around the corner of that building, let me refine my statement. Instead of seeing Tabitha there right by a planter, you see Tabitha almost dead-eyed, standing right in front of this door, knife drawn, hand on the handle, turns. Tabitha just goes into this house. Okay. Tabitha, when you go in, there's stairs that go down, stairs that go up to the main level of the house. What you can assume to be the main level of the house there. But that's what you see.
So this is important for the way I'm going to do this. Does the door swing out or does the door swing in?
I'm gonna say it swings out.
Okay, so I'll pull it out instead of swinging the door inside.
Okay.
So I'm gonna pull that door open slow.
Okay.
Hopefully it's not gonna make that much noise, and I'm gonna crouch behind it and I'm gonna wait for a little while. One, to see if it made enough noise that someone's gonna come out, and two, maybe give the rest of my team a chance to catch up with me. I don't really want to go in alone, but I also know in the depth of my soul that I'm probably not making it out of here alive. So I'm not going to wait as long as I probably should. But I specifically went real sneaky so that way maybe I lure somebody out and take them one at a time if I can.
Okay. When you had opened this door, kind of get in this area, you hear in your just right on the edge of your mind, you hear yes. Okay. You also hear. Okay. You also hear on the path behind you your friends who are coming.
I'm gonna swing around to make sure it's who I think it is.
First you see JC.
Okay.
Shortly after you see Joanna.
So.
And then Derek.
I see you guys. I'm like I hold a finger up to my lips and it's like, don't make a fucking noise.
He'll echo that chain of command back with just hand motions that will tell everyone else to either halt or be quiet.
And I'm gonna motion to get down and to come over because there are windows. I don't want any of my compatriots to be seen if I can. So I'm gonna ask all of my compatriots to also stealth their way over here because I'm awful. I'm sorry, you guys.
If you do realize deliberately be stealthy, Joanna, Derek, or JC, please roll a stealth check. If you do not and you don't care, don't.
I have described my staff as having gourds tied to it that rattle, so I don't know that I can be sneaky. I certainly can't be as sneaky as Tabitha would want me to be.
That's fair.
That's same. I don't have any stealth, and if I'm reading the rules right, stealth is tied to brawn, so I would have to burn a brawn to even get access to the skill and then roll, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm the sneaky axe guy. I'm sneaking.
He follows orders really well. He'll try.
So I'm gonna. What is that? Oh, it's all brawn. Okay. 2, 3. I'm gonna hold one back, and I'm gonna roll 5 dice.
Okay.
Yeah, you could always roll 2 5s.
And I did. I rolled 2 5s.
I did.
Nailed it.
All right. I'm a sneaky.
Okay. I have set a target number in mind for what I have. So you have 2 successes, Joanna.
Oh, wait, you can burn the last one to move a pip up, right?
Yep.
All right, let me do that. I'll make it 3 successes.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Quiet.
Better be safe.
JC and Joanna.
Oh, Joanna's not sneaky at all.
Okay,
I think
got it.
maybe she. I rolled. The best roll I can do is 2 dice, and I got 2 2s, so I'm not sneaky. So I imagine that she kind of she gets that signal from JC, from Tabitha to be quiet, and so she's kind of putting her staff down on the ground, kind of trying to
rattle.
Right. She's like, I'm going to set it down quietly and just not come closer. But that, any sort of, now that I'm thinking about it, and then I'm just and just all the movement is rattling the whole thing, and it's the little bird skull is dangling and making noise, and it's just it's not. Sorry, I'm not sneaky.
We all have our lanes. JC sends the signal back to 1, be quiet, and 2, get low. And he does one of those successfully. He does get low. I don't know what he bumped, broke, stepped into, crashed into, or did on his way down, but he did get low. He didn't do it stealthily, but he did get low.
Joanna bumped into you with her staff. You're like, stop! And she's like, oh God!
Oh God!
the blood-soaked rope falls off of JC's shoulders and slumps onto the ground, and like
Okay, great. Derek appears like behind Tabitha. He's like, "Hey, what's up?" Like, and it almost startles you because he's so sneaky and quiet. Joanna and JC managed to get there. Tabitha, you don't understand. You're like, "Be quiet," and they did their best. So you're all there, kind of on that landing. You can go down or you can go up. Tell me where you'd like to go into this house.
Nowhere.
I don't know why we in the house in the first goddamn place, but here we go. I hate this.
Tabitha, you have your knife out. You have your knife out, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna pull my axe out then. If we're going quiet, I don't want to shoot people. So
Yeah, no, that's fair. Derek, do you want to go up or do you want to go down?
So,
yeah,
was I too quiet?
No, I heard so, and then I think Joanna, I think you get cut off.
I was going to ask a question, but then Tabitha was talking to Derek, so I stopped talking.
No, we're good.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get a better picture. You said up or down, like from a landing. So, like, is the back door go onto the landing that then presumably goes to the
the
cellar
back door,
and then the first floor, or like there's
cellar
no
and first
access
floor
to the ground floor of the house from here, or like
it goes down to what appears to be a cellar. It goes down to what appears to be a cellar. The up would presumably take you to the main floor.
Got it.
Let's do down so first.
Like that sort of. I'm thinking about like fancy old houses I've been in where they have kind of a half ground floor.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's exactly what you're thinking about.
So then, that's just to clarify my mental image. That's all I wanted. Tabitha, you were talking to Derek.
Yeah, basically, I was just asking Derek if he wanted like us to go up or go down. He's mentioning going down, and I have a question for our narrator. How much of this is made out of wood versus stone?
Can we burn
everything you can see, like the landing that you're on, looks like it's probably marble, and it looks like it's been kind of well trod. Like the fact that like the marble is like even indented because it's been worn. It's probably at this point it's probably 100 years old, if not more.
Hell.
Yeah. So
there's wood in here somewhere.
There's wood in here somewhere.
Like
it is not unheard of for old houses to burn down, even when they're made of stone. There's all kinds of stuff.
So follow-up question, just because we're on the ground and we're low, is there any sign of traffic patterns that we can see in this house? I'm assuming they were cutting up the people somewhere in this manor house and throwing them to the pit. Are there blood droplets going some way? Are there drag marks? Are we seeing boot prints? Just basically traffic since he's on the ground anyways.
Yeah. That's going to be pretty easy. Like these stairs, they appear as though they are heavily trafficked. I mean, you're not seeing like drags of drag marks of blood all the way up and down the stairs or anything like that.
Okay.
But you might see like droplets or things like that. But again, it is heavily trafficked. These don't appear to be. This is not the main entrance. Looks as though like a servant's entrance or something of that sort. So
got it.
That's why it would be probably more traffic than the front.
Got it. Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Up or down, guys?
We're going down.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I'm hell bent, so I'm actually probably leading the pack right now. I'm over this place.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
So as you go down, you go down these stairs to the cellar. Like it's musty. It's like almost just like an old stone cellar. You get down there, and it's pretty dark. There are windows on the outside of the building for the cellar area. There's smaller windows, like about like that. You mostly probably for ventilation. In the to help get mustiness out, to prevent mildew and things like that, just to get airflow in hot summers. But when you get down there, there is it goes right pretty much in under the center of the house, and on into a hallway that goes down on either side. It runs right along the spine of the house. There are multiple doors. Off to the left, there's just a couple, and there's one door, pretty close. Looks like the left side of the house is the majority of it is behind that one area. On the right, there's a couple of individual doors. There are one at the end of the hall has a kind of almost like a frosted glass window on half of the door, and it there's some French writing on it, and then there's some on the other doors as well. It's pretty dark down there, but only the one door that has the frosted window, there's light coming into this hallway from there. That looks like it's exterior light coming through that frosted glass into this area.
Okay, so you said there's more than one door. There's a few doors, right?
Yep. On the left, there's 3 doors. They're all wooden doors.
Okay.
On the right, there's one door with frosted glass at the end of the hall. 2 doors on the left, 2 doors on the right.
Okay, so I make real poor decisions. I'm gonna try that first door on the left.
Okay.
Does it open?
Yeah.
What I want to do is open it and then slam it closed to make.
Just open it and slam it.
Yeah, to make noise.
Do you want to see what's inside, or are you just opening it to make noise?
I just want noise because I want whoever might be in that frosted room to come out.
Okay. Boom! Slam it. Echoes through this area, like probably startles you.
Startled me.
And yeah, resounds through this area, and you hear shuffling above you.
Like of feet or
Feet.
like furniture? Like
Oh no, feet.
And
Like people walking around.
like a lot of people or like a couple people?
No, not it's not like a stampede or anything. Probably a couple people.
Okay.
You hear footsteps, and the fact that you can measure them, great.
And they're not like 2-foot footprints, right?
They are rhythmic, and now the sandworms are going to get us.
Haha. Okay, since we're going to have company coming down those stairs, presumably very quickly, he is going to go position himself somewhere where he's not in direct line of sight for people who are coming down the stairs, but where he is in enough sight where he can whip around a corner and shoot.
Okay, so he's positioned, just ready. Tabitha opened, slammed. Tabitha, now that you opened and slammed and you heard, are you doing anything? Are you going to keep opening and slamming? Where you move forward? What are you doing?
No, I'm definitely gonna move forward. And yeah, the next door, I'm gonna open, and if it's another pull-out door, I'm gonna like motion to Derek, like, hey, let's cover this and see what the fuck is inside.
Yeah.
Okay. These doors all open in.
Oh, even better.
Yeah. So you open the door, the second door on the left. In here, it's it looks as though it's mostly looks like medical supplies. There's like there's like some coats. There's bandages. There's There's various brown bottles with different labels on them, but this all looks like medical supplies, and actually you get like the smell of ether and like kind of in your nose when you open the door.
Okay, so it's medical supplies, and if they're keeping their own people like stabilized, they probably know how to cauterize wounds.
Okay.
So usually that means fire of some kind. So, are there matches in here?
Not that you see.
Okay, then
You're
I'm
not
gonna.
keeping the matches near the ether.
That's probably fair. So I'm gonna close that door, and like at that point, I'm gonna make my way towards that frosted glass door, because if there's light from behind it, it's either going to be a torch or it's gonna be a lantern, and
I'm
I'm
gonna
hoping
stop right
it's
there.
the latter.
Because
Yeah.
the light that's coming out of that door seems to be the daylight from outside light from the end of the windows on the end of the building. So
Oh, okay.
yeah, sorry. Joanna, Derek, I got JC lined up, Tabitha opened, looked at the medical supplies, closed. Joanna and Derek, what are you doing?
I definitely am anticipating somebody coming down the stairs, so I guess I'm going to take a step like out of the middle of the room, kind of like to be at the bottom, not necessarily at the bottom of the stairs immediately, but along that wall, so that somebody has to get into the room and turn around to see me, basically. And then, hopefully I'll get a look at them before they get a look at me.
Okay.
That's the goal. Rather than standing in the middle of the room, I'm like going to the wall.
And Derek?
Since they've got the stairs covered, I'm opening that door with the light coming out of it.
Okay, so Tabitha's on one side of it, and you're going to open the other. Great. You open that. It looks as though it's a surgical suite. I'll go in and describe this in just a second. Joanna and JC, you're sitting there covering this, on either side, kind of covering the stairwell, and you see coming around the corner of that stairwell, and then down the stairs, that landing into that hallway, almost like ethereally just drifting in here are those two nuns, and wearing the gas mask, and this area is kind of filling up with a kind of a fog or a smoke. One of them actually has a sensor, one of those, it's a brass orb, got holes in it, they're burning incense, and she's swinging it, and in your heads you hear, yes, you need to be healed. It is more like a question. You need to be healed. Are you well? Are you well? This is kind of coming through your minds, and they both like come like right out there into that hallway. One of them looks at you, JC. One of you looks at you, Joanna, and this kind of smoke is filling up this space. Now, we're quickly approaching the end of our session, but what I want to do, we are going to do initiative. All right, never going home. Initiative is based on cards in your hand. So the highest card revealed gets to decide who goes first. So everyone put a card out. Make sure you know which one is yours. So move them where you want them.
And aces are high.
Aces are high. Yep. Thank you for that clarification, Matt. I have to get back to my page. Where did they go?
Yeah, I got to find them again.
Man.
There it is.
Tabs.
There we go.
There they are. They have a value of, okay. So, So everyone reveal your card. Okay. Ooh, we got an ace, a
Face
king, and a
cards.
Ooh,
queen.
we fought
And an
for
eight.
that one, honey.
All right.
Yeah.
Who got the ace?
Me.
Derek, great. Everyone bring your cards back in your hand.
Oh, good. It's not lost.
No.
Yep.
no.
No. So that's, I also want to point out that, remember how earlier we were talking about like the corruption and how potentially there's an opportunity to, mess with a party. If on your journey, it's like, hey, no red cards or no black cards or whatever. Someone's like, oh, I definitely didn't have anything to contribute there. And then on the initiative, they reveal that they had an ace of hearts. You're like, wait a second. So there's limited player knowledge that you can, kind of suss out, and there's levels of suspect that can happen there. Anyway, so Derek, you got an ace.
Mhm.
Who do you want to go first?
Either us or them.
Nope. You can say, I want JC to go first. I want.
Okay.
First. I want to go first. Then whoever that is, whoever goes, they get to decide who goes next. So you could potentially all front end stack
sexy.
initiative. You could say, well, I want to go later because I want to see what they're going to do, whatever you want to do. But you mix it up however you want. You get to decide who goes first.
JC, you go first.
JC goes first.
Okay.
Yeah. You had the gun pointed at the
Mhm.
staircase.
Yep.
Yeah. And there's a brief moment of hesitation, and then he just completely understands what needs to be done. So he is going to rifle fire at the closest nun. Ideally, the one that's swinging around the
sensor?
Yeah. Oh, God. Okay.
Okay.
So I'm looking at range. That's tied to my guts. And I'm
Yep.
just going to talk this out very quickly so I don't bog us down. I've got 4 in range and I've got 4 in guts.
Yep.
And I have cards to spin. Mechanically work backwards with me. If he wants to do or die in this moment, what is the most aggressive method that I can take to accomplish that?
The most aggressive,
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, you are starting with 4 dice.
Yep.
Because if you're ranged, you have 4 guts, right?
Yep.
So you could just straight up be like, I'm going to roll 8 dice. And
Okay.
then if you want to get a reroll, you just burn a card to get a reroll.
Okay, let's go there and see how the world works out for us. Oh,
That's very aggressive. You're using. Oh, also, I want to point out your weapon has certain things in parentheses, which are like, and I'm not sure if it's on your character sheet.
It is. Critical and aim are in parentheses for
Critical
me.
and aim. Great. So those are weapon abilities. Anything over and above the target number that you need to hit. So let's say you're going all out.
Mm-hmm.
You're rolling 8 dice. Let's say you roll 8 successes. Then you are able to spend those extra successes on those weapon abilities. Okay?
How
Nice.
fucking cool is that?
That's
is
awesome.
Gorgeous.
Yeah. So if you succeed very, very well, things get really good for you.
Okay. So let's go quick and dirty. He got 5 successes.
Okay. You only needed 2 to hit their brawn. To hit
5,
her.
2. So he can enact a critical at this point because a critical is 3?
If you want to spend that for critical, yep, you absolutely can. And what is your aim ability? It's
1.
1. Okay. So do you know what aim and critical do?
No, sir.
Okay. So normally your rifle will do 2 damage. Straight up, it'll do 2 damage.
Okay.
However, you have critical, which lets you roll a d6 for damage instead of just taking the 2. And your aim allows you to re-roll your critical damage. So you were ready for them. You got all those successes. You get to roll the d6 for damage if you want to spend them for critical.
Perfect.
And
Perfect.
you can re-roll it if you want.
Okay.
With your aim.
So with the critical, he got a 6. Very happy to see that kid today.
Man, that nun comes down the stairs. She has the sensor. You're hearing this in your head. JC is ready. So you do 6 damage. Their target number, because you're targeting brawn, was only 2. So that's a lot. You pretty much eradicate this character. You can describe how you want to do it.
So Here's the interesting thing, narrator. I would be more than happy to describe this, but chat is hinting at it, and now I'm stressed about it too. I don't know if these are actual nuns or not. So the best I can do is he's squat in a position. He rounds this corner. The censer is swinging. The nun is speaking, not out loud, but in his head. He has two of his friends behind him. He has one in front, and he knows this is do or die because he cannot possibly tolerate the thought of us being chopped up and just set on fire and left in a trench with no one ever knowing what happened to us, no one being able to. So
Yep.
There's nothing glamorous or sexy about this as much as it is a single shot straight to the forehead.
All right. Nun comes around there. Boom. Psh, dropped. Just hits the wall, slumps down. All right. JC, who goes next? The censer, by the way, clatters to the ground. The incense is still it's still filling this area with the smell of burning incense. It's probably a mix of that lavender outside and sage.
Ugh.
No.
I have a question. May I ask the table what their preferences are for who to go next? Or do I have to just decide?
Yeah.
Table,
No, you can.
do you guys have a preference? Does anybody want to go next? That's too much
No,
hesitation.
no.
I choose the nuns.
Yeah,
Let's go violent.
yeah.
Oh!
Do
that was
that.
too much
That's
hesitation.
good.
We're at the 11th hour of this stream. I choose the nuns. Let's see what these heifers do.
Let's do
Okay.
it.
So
Heifers. You motherfucking cows.
the other one looks down very calmly and then looks back up at you, JC, and just raises her hand and just puts it on the side of your face.
That's not good.
No.
And so you've not taken any actual damage.
No, sir.
You've not taken
Poor
any
decisions.
actual damage, but you feel a sense of calm just head to toe. It's almost like it just washes over you completely. Like you were very, very stressed. You're like, we got to get out of here. I'm not going to a burn pit for you. Like that kind of stuff is just like gone. Just like, it's like you've woken up from a long nap. You just got a massage. You had some nice tea. Like you feel great.
Is this like great enough where his rifle drops from his hands and his pupils dilate and he lives in a really
That's
happy
up to
place?
you. I mean, that's up to you. I mean, it's just a calming, calming sense that comes over. You still hear the kind of whisper in your head, and it's like, you are well. And then it just kind of turns. I'm gonna say it is Tabitha.
Okay. So it's a surgical room. Is there anybody in here?
Okay. So let me describe this area now that you turn around and the gunshot rings out behind you, the door is open. This surgical suite, the light that was in here, like I said, you have these two rectangular windows on the end of the wall, two rectangular windows over here, because this takes up like the entire length of the entire width of the house. It looks as though there's 1, 2, 3, 5 triage areas here. In the middle, there is what looks as like it wouldn't be stainless steel, it'd be copper table kind of here. In the middle, there's some like lights above, which looks like they're just mirrored, would be mirrored lanterns or something of that sort. This table, it looks like it's cleaned very well. The floor looks like it's large slabs of marble in here that could be, or some kind of stone that could be cleaned well. Each one of these triage spaces, there are soldiers that are laid down, strapped down in various states of dismemberment. And again, I'm just gonna caution this. I know we have our caution warnings earlier. Please let me know if anything gets too much.
So
Cool.
that's a great time for a color check. I need audible colors. I'm green.
Green.
Oh yeah,
Green.
Great. So various states of dismemberment. You see one guy does not have any legs. One guy has still wearing his uniform. It looks almost pristine, only with just maybe with the dirt of travel. However, like the majority of his face, like the flesh on his face has been moved. One thing that you notice is that like his eye socket here, he has like something here, and he has something here, like right in front of his ear as well, almost like another eye socket, and that looks like it has been removed, and there's like bandage like on the other parts of his face. Very like various states of dismemberment. It appears as though these soldiers are unconscious, but you do not know if they are dead. They are not aware.
Okay. Are there packs in the room?
Packs like their
backpacks. Yeah,
no.
They're okay.
Nope. There's no one else in the room here.
Okay. So I'm gonna turn to Derek, and ask him to go upstairs to help out with whatever's happening up there. And they're
not even upstairs. They're
on the same level.
Oh, right. Well, no, because we're downstairs. You guys are on the landing, right?
We all came down in the cellar.
Yeah, we're all in the
okay.
cellar. The nuns came down to us. Yeah.
The nuns came down.
So I'm going to have you go back to the end of the hallway, and I'm going to loot the bodies. I'm looking for matches or a lighter.
Okay. You can roll an investigation check for me, and then you can I'm going to say your target number is going to be 4.
Oh, wow.
Okay. So I have another question. Can I burn cards for additional dice?
Yes.
Okay.
You can burn cards for any of the +1 effects. So to buy a skill, to buy a die, to buy a reroll, to buy a pip.
Okay. So I'm going to burn 2 cards so that my dice pool is 8.
Love it.
Oh, go
Love
hard, baby.
Tell me what you give up before you roll.
Yes,
That's right.
I have to consult my notes.
You've already lost hope.
It's all gone.
Yeah. So
Ooh, 4 of hearts and a 6 of spades. So we got a relationship. We have knowledge, learning, enduring suffering. We got all kinds of stuff.
Yeah. So the spades, which is knowledge or overcoming suffering. I didn't overcome the suffering of watching my brother kill himself. He and I were deployed in the same platoon, and he couldn't handle the stress of everything that was happening, and he wanted to say goodbye, and I just gone. He apologized, and then he shot himself right through the eye to make sure that there was nothing left. So I never got over that. So I overcame the suffering of what happened, but I never emotionally coped with it.
And go on and narrate your 4 of hearts as well. Or was that tied into your brother as well?
That was tied into my brother as well.
Okay, I'm going to take that. So here's what you give up. That memory of the mental trauma your brother was going through and couldn't handle, the love and the concern that you had for your brother, it just, you feel it in your, just not up in your chest. It almost takes your breath away, and then you are just filled with that that cleansing lavender and sage mist that's in here, and it's like that knot just travels up your throat and just disperses. You have no more memory of your brother giving up his life, taking his own life. That relationship that you had with your brother in that moment, that it's just gone. You remember your brother up to a certain point, and then there's nothing. You're like, I wonder where he went.
Ouch.
Oh,
Yeah.
baby.
Ouch.
I have 7 successes.
Hey, you know what? As you're digging through one of these the pockets of these soldiers, you find a lighter. It's someone's gonna have to history check me. I don't know when a Zippo lighter was invented, but it is a similar style cigarette lighter. Okay. Great. Tabitha, who do you want to go next?
Derek.
Derek, go ahead, sir.
Okay. See her do that. I will just kind of nod and turn. And I guess I see the second nun.
Yep. Right
and I
there.
see JC just kind of go blank.
Yep. The rifle just kind of slack in his arms.
There's some weird Tolkien shit going on here. So I am going to charge and take out that nun.
Okay. I assume you're swinging your axe?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So I got 2 from melee. And 1, 2, 3. I've got 5 from brawn. So I'm going to hold 1 back for a reroll if I need to. You know what? No, let's go balls to wall. All right.
Here we go. That's what I'm talking
I'm
about.
all
Skip.
in.
Go, Skip.
Ugh. Okay. And I'm going to burn 1 card. Or do I get to reroll all if I burn a card?
You can re-roll any number of dice. So if you had any
Okay.
successes, you can keep them.
Okay.
Those
So
card expenditures are powerful.
Yeah, I'm going to burn 1 card to reroll 3 dice.
Okay. Narrate what you lose before you roll.
Okay.
Oh, what is that? A heart?
Ooh, Ace of Hearts.
Yep.
Hearts.
Ace 2.
Ooh.
He has, as I said before, the girl that was reading him Mary Shelley and things like that.
Becky, right?
Becky.
Becky, that's right.
Yep.
Becky with the good hair.
Yep. She was his rock during some bad times at home after what his dad witnessed with the wreck and everything like that.
Yeah.
And all he could see now is the look on JC's face, hope, just blank. Does no hope, no nothing, no anything like that. And for just a moment, he sees Becky in JC, sees the hope, the look that she had when he went off to war, that she would never see him again, that their friendship would probably that'd be the last time that they shared a moment at all. And with that passion, with that loss, or that in that moment, he just charges forward and just swings like there's no tomorrow, saying, "You're not going to do this. You're not going to take that away from me," and just slams the axe down.
All right. Tell me how many successes you get.
I have a total of 4 successes.
Great. You were looking for 2.
Okay.
And so with your axe, it has where'd it go? With your axe, it also has with 2 extra successes, you can do +1 damage.
And
so
that's
that
what
would
I'm
be
going to do.
He's
2
like,
damage.
and that's what I will take, please.
I'll take that for 100, Alex. Thank you.
So, and that axe just it finds purchase, goes pretty deep, and that nun just kind of like goes slack, just and you feel the weight on the axe as that nun goes slack, and right as the memory of right before you got on the train, as you and Becky were hugging in that last firm embrace, when that nun goes slack, you feel Becky's arms just kind of release you as that memory just goes away. All right, that was awesome. We are out of initiative. We are out of combat. Those nuns are they're there.
I think Joanna is like, JC, you all right? You all right? Like, because that's, I think, the first thing I'm checking on. Because you got touched.
Yeah.
So.
Narrator, I guess, how, just mechanically, how far down the relaxed spectrum am I?
You're a couple brownies deep.
Oh, good for him. Yeah, I think he's gonna look over at it's Joanna. He's gonna furrow his eyebrows like he didn't hear her the first time, and then he's just gonna nod, and then he's gonna put his back against the wall, and he's just gonna slide down to the floor.
Yeah, and this is temporary, especially now that they have been dispatched. You'll in a couple minutes you'll be perfectly fine, but right now you are feeling great.
I'm feeling good.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm gonna come out of this fucking surgery room, and we were in a medical room that had ether, and I have a lighter.
Absolutely.
Wonder what the plan is.
Yeah, I mean,
burn this fucker to the ground.
This has been the plan. This is
it's always the plan in horror games.
Yeah.
Kill it with fire.
Kill it with fire.
So I'm gonna hold up the lighter and be like, "Let's get out of here."
Just throw it in, and all right. That room will catch pretty readily.
Yeah.
That it's gonna, so it's on fire, it's burning. This place looks like it's gonna go pretty quick from that perspective.
Great. I'm gonna Derek, get the other side here. We're gonna help JC up. Like, I got him on one side, you get him on the other. Let's the room is already on fire. Let's go to the egress.
This way to the great egress.
This way to the great egress. Back up the steps to that landing and back outside. Like, this is no bueno.
Exit stage left.
You all grab Derek, heft him up. No, I'm not Derek. The JC got him. One arm on either shoulder. Pull him up. Tabitha, are you leading the way? Or you'd be behind them.
I would be the last one out.
Yeah, you managed to get to that landing and get out to the back. You get to the back landing, right where that cart is, and the carriage house. You see the doors of the carriage house just kind of burst open, and there is. And by the way, you can, we are at time. This is a great time to do a dramatic pause. If we are not, we can continue. You see, this.
Oh God.
This amalgamation of various body parts, just kind of like stumble its way out of the carriage house and just like flop and wheel its way towards the back landing. All right. Bridget, you're gonna have to tell me what our time restriction is at this point. This would just be another initiative, and we as the thing.
So I am all about dramatic cliffhangers. I am also all about player and narrator, in this particular case, enjoyment. So here's my reverse pitch to you and the table. Fight this out or end it with that thing loping at us.
That's up to you.
I'm asking the table for preference.
Yep.
I like the cliffhanger.
Yeah, me too.
I'm pro this thing loping at us too.
Mm-hmm.
I love it.
Matthew,
I love
you
it.
okay
Listen.
with that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Chat,
Like,
does anybody,
awesome.
you guys are, you tuned in real time. You're here with us. YouTube isn't going to get a vote, but you will. First couple people, do you guys have any preferences? How do you feel about this thing loping at us? And that's where we're going to cut scene. I'm going to give them a couple seconds to respond. People walk away from their computers and their phones.
That is 100
Cliffhanger is
what I would-
good.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good stop point from Andy. Chris says, you're cool to end it here. Slightly Happy Rhino agrees. That is 3 affirmatives for that. So
Love
I'm
it.
going to jump
Bang
right
that cliff.
into, and that, friends of the Symphony, is where our show ends for tonight. Wet Ink Games, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for coming onto this platform and bringing such a deliciously visceral story and an absolutely gorgeous system. This was a blast, and we appreciate you guys. I am going to do this giveaway quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, table thumpings. First person to win a PDF copy of Never Going Home is Slightly Happy. It's not giving me the whole thing, but it was in the chat, babe. It's you. I just called your name because you affirmed for us. Congratulations, congratulations, congratulations. Holy shit, amazing. Yep, congrats. Second winner is going to be Andy, Mr. Opinion. Both of you two, if you could, email me at symphonyentertainmentga@gmail.com. It is there in the chat. Congratulations to you both. Email me. Tell me like, hey, I'm that awesome, sexy person. I want a copy of Never Going Home. I will coordinate with Brandon, and we will get you guys a copy of the PDF. Cast and crew are going to go take a brief break, and then we're going to come back, and we, the 5 of us, are going to do our post-symphony talk back. This is
And Bridget, I'll make sure that I'll send the character sheets as well as a free adventure that we have that's out on Drive-Thru RPG right now. I'll make sure they get it all in the complimentary email, all in the same bundle.
Holy shit, guys. Thank you. Thank you.
Whoop, whoop.
Holy shit. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I love good people and I love good creators. Cast and crew, we're going to go take this break. We're going to come back and then we are going to do our talk back. Again, you have to be a backer of Symphony to get access to this talkback. So if you want to back us, that's at patreon.com/Symphony Entertainment. Stay tuned for more additional content coming in June where we're celebrating indie creators. I'm going to throw you up a flyer. If you haven't seen it already, Graham Walmsley, creator of Cthulhu Dark, is coming on to Symphony to run Miskatonic Shoreside Conservatory, a one-shot version, which I might have the book over here. I might not. I do. This is a campaign that I wrote for Cthulhu Dark, and I wrote it as a campaign, but Graham, the creator of Cthulhu Dark, is coming onto the platform to run it as a one-shot. He's made some modifications. It looks super sexy, and I am excited. Before we close out the stream, let us wrap around the auditorium one more time and get all of these pluggables and hype squads. We are going to start with Brandon, but before I even do Brandon, hey, tell us where people can find you, blah, blah, blah. I just want to throw him under the bus really fast. So,
Oh, God.
I know it's going to be completely fine, and I think I should be able to do this semi-successfully without crying. So, sometime Q4 of last year, things got really bad with my mom, and I was having a really, really shitty night. And I was just like mind-numbingly going through, I'm going to wind up crying. I was just mind-numbingly going through social media. And Brandon hopped into my inbox because they had hired me to do something with one of their projects. And he had a question. And he asked me how I was doing. And it was one of those days I didn't feel like lying and saying everything is fine. And I told him it wasn't, because it wasn't. And Brandon, out of no fucking where, sent me an Amazon gift card on the spot that just was like, sorry, you're having a bad night. Sorry, you're having a bad day. I hope things get better. Guys, I didn't need an Amazon gift card. I really didn't. I love Amazon. I spent the shit out of that gift card. But it's the fact that Brandon took a moment to go, wow, you're not doing great. Let me be intentional about showing you that things can get better. It's just, when I tell you I fuck with Wet Ink Games, I really do fuck with Wet Ink Games because they're good fucking people. Buy their products, support them at the booth, run their games, talk about their games, and put as many talented artists as you can, at least in their path, so they can review them, because they are such a blessing to the people around them. So, Brandon, that was me throwing you under the bus. I'm really sorry. Please tell us who you are, where people can find you, and some of the things that you do. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, hey,
The
like
dust
I said,
in your
Brandon
basement,
Wedding
there, Brandon?
Games. The You can find us on all of our stuff on DriveThruRPG, Indie Press Revolution. We will be at Origins and Gen Con, PAX Unplugged. We're going to be at Gamehole Con this year. We're going to another con down in Knoxville. Matt, what's the convention?
Fanboy Expo.
Fanboy Expo in Knoxville as well. Again, you can find us. We have a current Kickstarter going on right now for Never Going Home. If you like what you saw, you like what what we had here, you have an opportunity to pick up one or all of our products, either digitally or physically, including the special dice, special cards that we are going to have made for that Kickstarter as well. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Discord, all of the above. Bridget, thank you so much. We love you.
Mwah.
We love what you do. Everything you do is great. So
I love you guys. I can't even articulate how much I'm such a fangirl of some damn wedding games. Matt, hit us with your pluggables, baby.
Well, they're pretty much all the same. Brendan and I do the division of labor. So if you're interacting on Facebook or Twitter, that's Brandon. If you're interacting on the Instagram or the YouTube or the Discord, that's probably me. So that's where we are. I've been interviewing creators, and I will go ahead and say that I interviewed Bridget a couple weeks ago, and so be looking for the week of Origins. So the 21st of June, that Wet Ink Wednesday will be my interview with Bridget. We talked about all kinds of stuff. It was a lengthy interview because there's a lot to cover when you get an amazing person like Bridget on the other end of your line. So look for that. And I'm sure one or both of us will post it to all of our channels, and you'll be able to find it pretty easily. But that's the near future. Yeah, I think Brandon covered the rest of it. So thank you all for watching.
Wedding games. I love the grounds you guys walk on. Allie, hit us gorgeous. Tell us about it.
Oh, good. I'm not muted.
Small victories.
Yeah. So you can find me on the Old Ways server, mostly because I am one of the active cast members of a Delta Green campaign, which is called Impossible Landscapes, and I play Katerina Bogdanovich in our Vampire the Masquerade game. And we also have a Patreon that I'm going to plug, patreon.com/The Old Ways Podcast. Come join us, won't you?
Mwah. And Skip, who is not only our highest backer at Symphony, but a benefactor level backer, which means you're going to hear his name a lot because he's awesome. Hit us, baby.
Well, you just took my plug away. I was going to plug.
Oh, that's
Symphony,
my bad, homie.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Bridget, I just want to say it's awesome. We had our first one-on-one as part of my Patreon backing. I loved it. She has a lot of good ideas, a lot of good advice. You can find me on the Symphony Discord at Skip M. Hopefully, I'll be out on more. I just like to say, like I said, I'm just trying to get into all this. Had a great time today, and if you have a podcast and if you're looking for a cast member and you want somebody who's rookie but who's been in the games for years and years and years, I can do voices and voice work for free. Just that's what I do. Just hit me up. I would love to be part of your game. I'd love to give you some of my experience and just experience what you guys offer, because that's what I'm looking for is new experiences. I'm 55 years old. Not a lot of new experiences around here for me. So this is a really good opportunity for me to branch out and just to get to know people in the gaming world and industry that I would never have met before. Brandon, it was awesome. Thank you for having me a part of this. I love this system. Love it.
Love to hear that.
Oh, it was so good. We're going to go cool our nervous systems on. We're going to come back for the post-show gala. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. We hope you've enjoyed the Symphony, and we look forward to seeing you guys again soon. Mwah. Have an absolutely phenomenally wonderful night and a good rest of your weekend. Bye.